You think people are really gonna watch this,
They ain't got nothing else to do.
right?
Word.
I ain't going on social media talking shit about TDS Radio. I know that much.
My man, Coach Block.
What's up, cuz? How we living?
You're rocking with TDS Radio.
Get it, Kim. All right. She got a vision, and she want us to execute this vision.
Ooh, man. That's what TDS is about today.
Ken and Kim are the two dopest siblings that I know.
All right, man. You ready?
Am I ready? Are they ready?
Nigga.
Shit. I'm hungry. That's how we're starting the show. I don't even know. Where's my phone? Oh, okay. What's up? It's your man, Coach Block. One half of TDS Radio. And I am here with...
Your girl so fab. Hey, y'all.
So, today is Wednesday. We missed yesterday because we had to clean up from our comedy show, which our studio was a wreck. That's okay. It wasn't a wreck in a bad way. It's just all the equipment and stuff was still in here. But it's here. We're Wednesday. It's Wednesday. And this week is flying by. And this would fly by when it's the week of my spring break. I feel like this week is just blown right past. Here we are at Wednesday.
Sorry to hear that, Manig.
It's terrible work. I promise you, it's absolutely absurd. But we have our guest today. Our guest will be Miss Varna Spencer, the healing consultant herself. She'll be here. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. How was your day?
You know, Manig, I can't complain. It was long, extremely long. But, you know, we're here. We're at TDS, making some things move and shake. I'm still feeling the residuals from the comedy show. So I definitely still appreciate, you know, those of you who came out to support near and far, because it was a time to be had. We had a really good time.
That was my praise report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anything else? I need to cut the sound off.
Hold on.
Okay. So let's talk about the praise report.
There.
You got it?
Yeah, you're good to go now. The settings were still from the weekend.
Praise report.
Hold on. Still trying to make adjustments. Okay, and all right, we're here, guys. It's happening. And boom. All right. So then let's make sure that we get our stuff right. We're good to go. And I'm ready. You ready?
Praise report.
Okay.
Today's praise report is going to be the comedy show that we had. We had a great show. It was very needed. Everybody came and laughed and had a good time. The comics all were funny. And we did something that personally, you know, for Kim and I'm really proud of, because it wasn't something that was specifically on our scope of entertainment, just something that I wanted to do, and it worked. And we're going to be doing it again. So we're going to be running it back. But before we run it back, you guys will get an opportunity to actually see the show yourself, because we did record it. So we're working on some of that today. And so there's a lot of positive progress with TDS and doing things outside of that. Another praise report that I have is anybody who is interested, please go follow TDS Radio for a new thing that we have. It's called TDS Step Check. So for me, I've been counting my steps lately and my miles of how far I've walked. Between Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I have already accumulated 16 miles that I've walked. Last week, I had a total of 19 miles that I walked And each time I do it is roughly about 12 to 13,000 steps. So we're starting a new group, and hopefully we can encourage people. Had a great response with that on Facebook, and we want to encourage people to just get moving. One thing my mom used to say is the moment you stop moving, you start dying. So I want everybody to get moving, and we can hold each other accountable and have some challenges and have some fun with it. I think it's going to be a great time. So make sure you stay on the lookout for that. So that's definitely something that's on the praise report. On top of just being healthy and here. And yeah, and appreciative of all the people who supported us. That's a big part of the praise because you didn't have to. So for those who supported us, and even for those who supported us but wasn't able to come, Cousin Jazz, we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank y'all for rocking with TDS Radio. It makes us, gives Kim the energy to keep this thing going. You got something?
Yeah, and also don't forget, guys, if you got something that you're that you want us to read about or to hear about in regards to a praise report, go ahead and drop it into the comments. We want to hear about your good news. We definitely want to know what's going on with you. What do you have to celebrate today, or what is it that you really just want us to go ahead and give you a round of applause for? Drop it in the comments. Doesn't matter at what point during the show. Just let us know. We want to hear and see your good news. And then for me, I was asked to be a board member for a nonprofit organization here in Raleigh called She's Local. There's a huge event that's happening in November called the North Carolina Triangle Women's Association that they're throwing. And it's really about trying to get down to the nitty gritty of the needs of women in today's society and how we can support one another. One of the biggest things is how to advocate for yourself in the medical field and medical space when you are not being heard. So yeah.
Dope.
Pretty dope.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, man.
And for our cuz who just said, even though I couldn't make it to the show, I'm glad I was able to buy a ticket and still support because you guys definitely deserve it. We thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And because we know you're dope and you rock with the Sibs, the next comedy show, you don't have to pay.
Hey.
So you've done enough to support us to where we can, make sure you get into the next one for free. We know people that can make that happen for you. Ha! Yeah, we might know a nigga or two that might be able to slide you in. What? So today, y'all, I'm letting y'all know I'm starting to show off, and I'm telling y'all I could be slightly off because I's hungry. All right.
Yeah, you can tell.
As I look at our Instagram, because I was getting it started, but one of our comics, go follow her on Instagram, is sharing her photo from Saturday night. That's pretty dope.
And took a photo right here in the bullpen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So make sure you share that. It looks like she's going to be busy too. So make sure you follow our comics. It is Tico Bethay, Cheryl Wade, Kiera Benson. She also goes by Kiki Benson, and Victoria said it. So make sure you follow them, and it won't be the last time that you guys see them, because I think the one thing I'm nervous about now is they set the bar pretty high.
Yeah, they did.
So, you don't want to, how like you have a show and the show is good, then you come back and watch the show next week, and then the show ain't as good as it was the next one. You'd be like, oh, man. So, this is not what I expected. So now we got to bring the heat again, because the bar was set pretty high with the first people, which, once again, I can't. I didn't speak at the end, which I think I probably should have, but I did not have it in me because I was overwhelmed with just hold on, guys, I got to get the Instagram people in here. I didn't speak at the end of the comedy show because I was overwhelmed with emotions, and I didn't want to be teary-eyed on the track. And so I figured it would be better for me to just let the comedian end it, Victoria, because I don't even know if you heard it. Did you hear Precious when she was like, didn't you say you had something to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna just let it go. Cause it was one of them things where, like, I'm not a puffy, And when Suge Knight said, if you want to be all on the video, if you don't want your producer to be all in the videos and all in the camera, then come to Death Row. I felt like it was one of those moments where we just had to just allow it to end the way it ended, because there's something about ownership and being able to produce things where you don't always have to be in the front, and to be able to sit back and see a room full of your people having a great time. Now, once again, it was not specifically targeted to just only a Black audience by any means. Comedy to me has no color. Anybody can join, but to see a room full of Black people, everybody mature, everybody grown, everybody have a great time, and just hear the laughter and see the production from OB DJing to Precious and her crew, Andrea helping with doing the filming, and people just Chiquita helping with the with doing the drinks and everything. It was just it was a Black affair, and for once you get the opportunity to say yeah, because people don't think we can do stuff like that without it being some drama. Every comic got paid on time. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't nobody leaving time. I ain't even get my damn check. Mm-hmm. Nope. Everybody was paid on time. Everybody got the money that they were supposed to be getting. We wasn't out there talking about, now look, we a little light. So if you could work with us, that's all that janky promoter stuff. So definitely, man, I'm really thankful for all that, and thankful for everybody who supported. And I think
and helped.
And helped.
Yeah.
Thank you for people who supported and helped. Kayla, you're one of those people. If you're watching, we really appreciate y'all, man. And it's one of those ones where you get overwhelmed, because this month I don't know for Kim, but I know for me, I'm sure also for Kim, it's a hard month. You go in and out of being happy and sad, because it's like, this is the month our mom passed. And so for something like that to happen and two siblings to be together and working, I'm like, I'm sure she's proud. So I didn't want to have the mic and be like, man, boo, right. Get off the stage.
It would have been me. Get this nigga off the stage.
Shut him up. Somebody get him a drink. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What else do you want from me?
Congratulations.
See, that's why I didn't do it. That's why I did not do it. But other than that, man, we still kicking it. So we're gonna run it back. June 7th, we're running it back. Be on the lookout for the video coming out soon. It'll be out before my birthday. My birthday's April 30th, so we'll be out before that. And get ready for the new stuff. We still got Fuck Up Nights, another Fuck Up Nights on the way. We got another Groove Me on the way. So we'll be busy. We got an event with Auntie V, and we also have the Jamboree for football. So there's a lot going on, man, and a lot to be positive about, and a lot to be thankful for. So with that said, let's go into our foolishness of That's Effed Up. So let's talk about what is...
Oh, you didn't do birthdays.
Forgot about birthdays. All right. So we got more people that more goodness before we get to the bullshit. All right. Let's see. Birthdays. Whose birthday is it today? You know why I didn't get to the birthdays? Because my phone is not tangibly near me. So it was not on my mind. Birthdays. Hold on. Okay. What is today? The 16th. 16th. Okay. Happy birthday, Ricky Jordan. Happy birthday, Michelle Hornsby. Happy birthday, Big Lulu. Happy birthday, Maurice Walker. And happy birthday, Catherine Rushing. Everybody have a happy birthday from the Sibs. And here you go. Ready and boom.
Y'all ready? Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Well, it looks good. He's gonna smile. And we hope you have a good time. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday to you.
And as the saying goes, continue to live your life in a way that makes every day worth celebrating from the Sibs. Happy birthday, everybody. And let's get into our foolishness with That's Effed Up. Here we go. So what do we got?
All right. So this story is coming out of Brooklyn. I don't know if you guys heard about it because it all happened maybe like about two to 3 weeks ago, where a mother, where the headline says just being a good parent, is accused of beating her 9-year-old son with an extension cord because she discovered his plan to rob a store.
Which one is it?
Huh?
Which one is it?
Go over. One more.
This one.
No.
This one.
There we go. So we're going to read this verbatim just so you guys can actually hear about what's going on with this story, because I definitely want to get some of your opinions on this, because this is definitely a slippery slope. So it says a Brooklyn woman who faces felony charges for allegedly whooping her 9-year-old son with an extension cord confronted the boy after learning he was planning to rob a local store. Her defense attorney said in court. Now, Tashay Nurse is 37, and she was charged with felony assault, among other charges, in connection with the alleged beating. Now, it also says that according to a criminal complaint, Nurse was arrested after her son ran away from home, and a stranger found him at a McDonald's in Flatbush early Tuesday morning. Now, her attorney denied the violent acts Nurse is accused of, but told a judge that his client confronted the boy after some parents told her he had mugged another boy. Around the time, Nurse discovered a group chat her son was a part of where the chat members were planning a robbery. They were conspiring to rob a local store by wearing a ski mask. If he were to go and rob a corner store, he would be killed by the police. She was just a concerned and responsible mother. Now, this was from her attorney. Then goes on to say the boy told authorities that his mother hit his arms with an extension cord, punched him in the chest, and then yelled at him, grabbing him by the neck and pinned him to the ground. A police source stated that Nurse reportedly became upset after finding a ski mask amongst the boy's belongings. Police noted they observed lacerations and redness on one of the boy's arms. He also reported neck pain. He was taken to a local hospital for observation. She's a single mother who is disciplining her kids because he did something that he wasn't supposed to do, the great aunt had said. Now, a judge ordered Nurse's release from jail without any bail conditions, but she was issued a protection order that prevents her from contacting her son. Now, according to her lawyer, the boy will live with other relatives for the time being. He then says she didn't commit any crime. She was just being a good parent. They were erring on the side of caution. He then goes on to say, I'm not sure they completely evaluated all the facts and circumstances. Now, according to her LinkedIn profile, she is a pediatric nurse for nearly 10 years. So my question to you, and of course to y'all who just heard the story, where do you stand when it comes to this situation?
People need to mind their damn business.
That's how I feel.
She disciplined her child. Now, this is the same thing I tell these kids every single time that something happens to them. Don't pick and choose when you want to be a little kid. Now, you want to step into the arena and go out here and potentially rob somebody, but then your mom beats you for it, and then you want to tell the police?
Right. Well, run away.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You running away and telling the police after, but you was about to go rob somebody.
Twice. You mugged a boy, and then you were getting ready to rob the corner.
So then you go tell, and you run away. This is a problem because her trying to discipline her son should not be, what was she supposed to do? Let him rob the store? If a cop would have caught that child, the cop would have shot and killed the kid or arrested the kid. So she was doing preventative measures. I'm gonna beat your ass before somebody else out here in the street teaches you what it is. Why would they arrest this woman and give her felony charges?
Because of the lacerations. Because I guess
she went too far.
Yeah, they feel she went too far with the extension cord.
Well, what is
and punching him in the chest.
Hey, sometimes that's what's needed. I've been punched in the chest multiple times multiple times by my mother. Never thought once to go tell. I ain't never been choked, been punched, wrestled, gripped up. You know what? I was choked. I've been choked from, yes. Never mind. But I had to think about that. Yep, she did. She got me from behind. She grabbed me by my neck. But it's discipline. What else was she supposed to do? Allow her son to go out there and make those mistakes? I mean, the lacerations and things like that. Some people are going to say, "Oh, maybe she went too far," but did she not? Did she not do what a parent is supposed to do? What is a parent supposed to do in this situation?
Well, there's gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting?
Mm-hmm. Yes. You sit down and you talk to them.
I will put my foot in your ass for that. Okay. I mean, hey, the other side is you spend multiple years in jail for doing something stupid. And then now she's doing what? Crying and having to pay money for lawyers and attorneys and all that. I'm gonna whoop your ass. So then she just need to get a good attorney and appeal this.
Yeah, and it seems like the attorney is definitely, doing everything that he can to assure that she's not going to serve the time. Because at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I'm trying to save my son's life. We can see, historically what happens when young Black boys are in situations where the cops are present. Not to say that it happens all the time, but it's happened enough to where a mother lives in fear of how or when her son will get back home.
Right.
So if you're sitting here saying not only did you mug a peer, but then to take it a step further and say, well, I'm going to rob a store. Now, wait a minute. First of all, why are we robbing anybody? Let's start there, because I got to whoop your ass for sitting here, going and robbing this young boy. But then now you're going to take it a step further and have a group chat about how y'all going to rob a store. All of y'all need your asses beat. Everyone.
Yeah, everybody's ass needs to be kicked.
Because this is crazy.
People can get mad at, look. So Victoria is watching our hostess for Top Secret. She said, my mama gently choked me. Right. My choking wasn't gentle either. I remember when she did it because she jumped on my back and
Sheesh, what did you do?
Not that part of the show.
Because I don't remember that.
You weren't there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where you were at. Yeah, I think you might have been gone.
You guys never home.
No,
never home.
I think you were gone. I want to say you were at one of your friends' house, the one that used to call a Furby or something like that. Because it happened during those Braddock days.
Oh, okay.
Because I had said something crazy. And then she waited. Like, mom never attacked me straight up and up. Even though we used to slap box and she had pretty fast hands. And that's when I found out she used to train the box. But she would always catch me from the angle because, I was athletic. So next thing you know, you just hear. And I'm like, and she's on my back. I said something I wasn't supposed to say. But that's neither here nor there. I didn't leave and be like, she choked me.
And
when I got beat and I didn't go to school, and she left welts on me. Man, and these kids are soft as piss.
What I empathize with the mother because you're acting out of emotion right now because what could potentially happen to your son, especially when you're sitting here saying, I'm planning on robbing a store in a ski mask. So one or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to shoot you and kill you, or you're going to go to jail, period. So now I have to teach you a lesson because I'm teaching you one lesson because why did you sit here and mug a peer? But then now you're planning on robbing a store. This is a whole thing. Like y'all had a whole entire plan. So to some was it excessive to do the extension cord and the choking and the pin into the ground and the punching him in the chest? But when we have endured the trauma that we have, because she's a 37-year-old woman, she's the same age as me, where we're talking about COVID, we're talking about, all of the young Black men that we lost due to police violence. Something triggers you to where you're like, I can't have this happen to my kids. So I have to teach you a lesson. And not to say that it's right, but what other way could we possibly get through to them, especially when she's probably raising him by herself because it didn't mention anything about a father.
No. That's where I say like it's hard and frustrations build up. And yes, you're right. And 9 times out of 10, if he was thinking about robbing a store, this was not his first time with negative behavior. Because you just don't wake up like, I think I'm gonna rob a store.
Mhm.
Usually there's a build up to doing something as stupid as this. So she's probably had enough of this. And I see, Danielle says, the extension cord was crazy work, but hold on. Same people who disagree with her either don't have kids or they're the ones with kids that are bad as hell. Correct. Then you got Danielle that says, I heard about this. Although she was disciplining her child, there's no need to use an extension cord. Extension cords are right up there with abuse. You're supposed to teach them. And I feel like 2 things can be right at the same time. Whatever I get in my hand, you're going to feel that work with. As a mom to a boy, whatever I get in my hand, you're going to catch that. Now, in my 20-something odd years of parenting, do I ever feel like as a father, you should do that to your daughter? Absolutely not. The little one has a sandbox in her room, and somehow a pile of sand was in the middle of her bed.
What?
So,
yeah, she said sand.
Yeah, so that was a thing. And the worst thing about parenting with the parent in the house is now the mood changes and now you're in trouble with the kid. Like, I know the hell I did. I'm like, oh Lord. Now
yes, we both got in trouble.
Now we got to hear this shit for the rest of the night, or I got to deal with an attitude because you did it. So never once in my mind did I ever think about spanking her.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not the character of the kid, and I'm not frustrated to the point of I need to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, dealing with these kids every single day who are extremely disrespectful on a consistent basis, even with parents who are doing their best, I would be willing to bet that this woman had just had enough.
Yeah, it sounds like it. For them to say the mother hit his arms with an extension cord, punched him in the chest, then yelled at him, grabbed him by the neck, and pinned him to the ground. That sounds like a parent that is fucking fed up. Period. Like she had hit, she's at it. She hit her wall. She's at a wit's end. And to say that is right, no. But I can empathize. I'm telling you.
Hey,
I can.
Tico the guy who said extension cords are for extending. Once again, you're not going to get me to say that. Hey, when you get it in your hands, you're gonna get that work. If you're gonna get beat, you're gonna get beat. Oh well, a belt is a little different than a extent. No, it all hurts. It all hurts. So it's like the lacerations and all that stuff. Maybe she went too far. I don't know. But here's what I do know. I know that these cheering will push you there because they feel like in their mind you won't touch them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is a different breed of kids, man. I promise you, it's a different breed of kids. These kids feel like everything that happened to that mom is exactly why these kids are in the situation that they're in, because they know they can flip the script and get you out of there. And that's the part that makes you feel like if I'm gonna beat you, I might as well go for the gusto. Because why am I beating you with a belt and end up with the same punishment? So if I'm gonna do it, you're gonna feel me. And the person who's gonna feel not having a mother is him.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? At sometimes, and people get mad at my logic with this, at sometimes these little kids need to feel that. What happens if mom's not here? Because they know and they depend and they take for granted parents all the damn time. And next thing you know, he gonna be looking stupid because eventually kids, parents, the family, if they wanted you, they would have been helped you out. So don't believe that for a heartbeat. When they go, oh well, we'll take them for now.
Yeah, until shit gets
Until
real.
until you start acting like an ass with them, and they're gonna want to beat you with a cable.
Then you'll end up in foster care.
Yeah.
Where they definitely don't give a damn about you.
Then you're gonna get beat by kids right in your face. Pow. That's the problem. I keep telling y'all, bullies need to come back. The fact that you can't bully no more, like bully, boom, boom, is the reason why these little scrub kids, that's why they all act an ass. There used to be a time there was a hierarchy in assholism where you knew you couldn't go too far because there was somebody that you knew that was your age that would go further. And then usually that person, your parent might even say something. Sit down because you ain't say that to his punk ass.
Yikes.
And then now that brought you down a peg or two. But see, these kids don't get that. They don't feel that smoke. They don't feel the smoke of the hierarchy. So they think they could just go out here and listen to what we're saying. A child had a plan with a ski mask to rob somebody. His mom whooped his ass and she goes to jail.
Facing felony charges.
Because she choked him, because he could have potentially killed someone
and got killed,
or got killed himself, or both could have happened at the same time,
and mugged a peer,
and mugged one of his peers. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. Like, now, I'm not saying there's levels to bullying now. Let me clarify the bullying. Yeah. When you got boys, all right, who at any other time would not test the waters like this because they knew there was consequences, right? As a man, as a young man, I knew that there was consequences for my actions. So if I go out here and do something stupid, I could get punched in the face. If I go out here and mess with somebody's child, that kid can punch me in the face. We fight. There's no consequence for it, right? Now you go punch a kid in the face, even as a child, because they picked on you. What happens? You get charges put on you. But then we forget the fact that I punched him because he messes with me every single day. This issue that we have where we're protecting the BS is the problem. Like there is literally kids who run around in school buildings every single day. My hunger's gone away. That every single goddamn day that you just say you need to be punched in the face. Somebody needs to punch you in the face. And there used to be kids who would do it. Now you can't. And so then now you strip that away from the kids. So then now kids who you know in your heart of hearts, you are a punk, but you're doing this because there's no consequences for that. That's the type of bully I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bully who would regulate shit in school, not the ones who picked on kids just because. I'm talking about the one that knew you're a punk, you don't belong here, pow, because your behavior is that.
Right.
I'm not talking about the bullies that sit in the corner that prey on the kids.
Ones that are punks themselves.
Yeah, the ones that prey on kids that are innocent. I'm talking about the ones that look at the ones that a teacher would say, I'm gonna just turn my back on this one and watch you get dusted off. Those ones need to come back. But you can't do that no more. You can't touch nobody. So she was supposed to let her son go out here and rob somebody.
And then typically the people who would, in this case where a parent couldn't reach them, the people who would teach a lesson, like the police, they're not going to do that. They're going to shoot first and ask questions later. Because typically in a situation like this, if you do see a kid, a 9-year-old that's doing something like that, the cop would be like, come here. Now, what the hell are you doing? Now I got to teach you a lesson. We'll scare you, the whole beyond scared straight thing, whatever. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't.
And that's bullying. So taking the kids to beyond scared straight, that's bullying. So you got these grown men, you like to get your butt played with, boy? Like, what type of shit is that? That is bullying. I'll stick my whole fist up your ass, boy.
Crazy.
That's bullying. That is bullying. Scared straight is, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about preying on the innocent. That's totally different. I'm talking about the hierarchy of when somebody sees that you've stepped out of line and they whoop your ass for it. That's a peer. I ain't talking about adult. I'm talking about peer to peer. That shit used to happen. There was rules, especially with boys.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, man, what is you see a boy who's a punk mess with a girl, he get punched in his face. That same kid now, if that same situation would happen, he would get in trouble for punching and protecting the girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy work to me. That is crazy work to me.
Or someone just protecting themselves, because you do have the kids that get picked on. They have enough, and the next thing you know, they done whoop that person's ass, and it's like, well, you never should have bothered
Should have
them.
left him.
But then now it's like, well, we got to hold you, accountable. You shouldn't have done that, when they were just protecting themselves.
Chucky D, come on, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. As boys, I'm trying to tell you, there's a hierarchy, but that doesn't exist anymore. And a lot of times that hierarchy kept things in line.
And I think, hold on. What did Tico say? Or giving him a taste of what's going on that happened in prison.
You're getting into him early because somebody gonna whoop his little ass when he go in there.
And then Danielle said, did the son learn anything from what the mom did, or was there more added resentment? Well, we don't know that, because now he's living with another family member. So we don't know. But what we do know is he's here another day.
What I know is you had a plan to rob somebody and you mugged somebody, but your mother goes to work every day. Now, if your mother, once again, when we start talking about stories of kids and, hey, man, I'm going to go rob because my mom ain't working, I'm hungry and all that. She's a nurse of 10 years, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's making money. So once again, here we go with a kid, a spoiled kid, who your mom is doing the best that she can do. Your simple ass want to go out here and rob somebody, and she caught you. And we look at her as though she's the problem. That's why I keep trying to tell people, man, I believe in helping these young kids, but I also believe in being straight up and down with them. We lie to these kids and give them the false sense of security and fairness and equality to adults. This is an adult, his mother. And he now sees what can happen to her for her actions as a consequence. She'll never be able to raise that boy again. Because what do you think he's going to do next time? I'll
run away. I'll call, whomever to get help. And I mean, because we all know the running joke of when we were coming up, we'd be like, well, I'm going to call, Child Protection Services. And then the parent be like, fucking call them.
I'll call them for you.
And then
but your ass will be kicked before they get here. So I'm going to get mine.
Now you looking stupid.
Now my eyes big as hell because I thought about it. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. And I know a lot of people who, when I say, bully, is that there's an order in school, man.
Well, yeah, because even like Danielle said, I don't know about that because I've been bullied.
She's been bullied. Yeah.
So there are people who are just bullying people for no fucking reason. And those kids are terrible. They need their ass beat. But like you said, just that level of when you act stupid or feel like you've stepped out of line, somebody checks you. That unfortunately does not happen.
Don't happen no more. It don't happen no more.
And it would even happen with teachers. Like I know when I was coming up in high school, our teachers would check us. They would let that one teacher that don't play come to the room and be like, come here. It's like, oh, you fucked up.
Yeah, now
that does not happen.
Now
anymore.
They be like, what you mean, bro? What you mean? What you mean, bro? The problem that I have with people who judge situations like this is I guarantee you don't deal with these kids on a day-to-day. Nobody who deals with ask Tico. Tico, you deal with these kids on a day-to-day. Nobody who deals with these kids on a day-to-day would tell you that woman was wrong. Nobody. They would say no comment before they would say she was wrong, because you can't say she was right because the people are, oh, you're an educator and you believe in that? Hell yeah. We can't do it, but I know one thing. Some of these little kids need their ass beat. It'll save their life later. But now you just showed him that nobody can raise that. I wouldn't take his little ass in.
Mm-mm.
You must be crazy. Why would I take his little ass in now? Little criminal? He's a criminal. He already got a criminal mindset. And instead of being able to sit with the ass whooping that he got, he sees his mom go away as if she's the criminal. I'd be damned. I'll tell you what, get me started on this shit. That's fucked up. Because I know one thing. What's her GoFundMe? I give her $20, help her out.
Facts.
Damn.
No, what, $20?
$20, all I got.
Wait a minute.
That's all I got. But I got you. So I got you for something.
I'm gonna give you $20.
I got 20 on. I got 20.
Okay.
That's all I got. That get you something. She in jail. So I get you something. 20 in jail. She get some chips. Shit. I get you right. I give you a dub. Good job. Just like what Bertie Mac used to say, I'm gonna say what you can't say. And when a kid talks back, I believe a kid has a nerve to get fucked up. You can hit them from here to here.
It's funny because I'll watch videos of parents who will try that gentle parenting shit, and they'll be like, "I tried," and then before you know it, they lose their shit because like I'm trying to talk to you. But like you said, there hasn't really been any consequences because it's just, oh, well, and
everybody's
you gotta
gentle.
do and bop, bop, bop. But kids will try. I mean, look, kids are smart. They're extremely smart. They know what they're doing and they know how to test the waters. And if they feel like I can test, then I'm going to keep going and then keep going and then keep going until someone says, come back here.
Yeah.
Then it's like, up, let me reset. But kids are so intelligent, and we need to give them more credit than what we typically do.
He had a plan to rob a store.
In a group chat.
What are we? Everything was, man. See, I can't even get it out. There's so much because you can't defend the child's behavior. You can't. You cannot defend the child's behavior. He found it in his mind to rationally think through a plan. I guarantee his grades are terrible, but he found out how to critically think through an idea to rob somebody after mugging a kid, right? But then we treat him as if he's not competent enough to understand what has happened. Your mom whooped your ass because you was about to rob somebody.
And like Tico said, now you go to juvie if you don't get shot. And what do you think is going to happen there? You're gonna fight.
Worked in a male facility out of college. I seen a young boy raping another young boy.
Why are you talking to God?
Because it was the wildest shit in the world. It stuck in my head. It then let me know to take each one of these young boys that think they tough and let them know you don't really want to be in that environment, even as a child. Because once again, there are people who will prey on the fact that you ain't who you think you are. And when I seen that forever, I promise you, it's embedded in my head and I hate it. I have tried to save every young man that I see. And if it took me to grab my own flesh and blood by the back of his goddamn neck and beat his ass to prevent him from going to a place where it's going to be 10 times worse than the ass whooping, that would be a punishment I would gladly take. Because at some point in time, somebody's going to show you you're not who you think you are. These kids were teenagers when that happened. When I seen that, they were teenagers. And the only thing, because you got to do bed checks, 2 of the kids were missing out of the bed. So immediately staff is like, yo. So we go, they share bathrooms where one side of the bunk is on this side, one side of the bunk is on that side, and in the middle is the bathroom. First place you run to, bathroom, somebody probably smoking, something like that. So one staff came from this side, the other set of staff came from this side, boy being raped. But it was one of the ones that thought he was tough. They showed him just how tough he wasn't. And I can't say what we said, but it was the wildest thing in the world to see when you're talking about children. So then now this same kid is in a facility where the kids range from 12 to 19. It was a 18, you age out. It was an 18-year-old that had jumped on a 15-year-old, right? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? But you came in thinking you was tough. What keeps men from spazzing out? Jail. Once you get to a point where you do not care about the consequences that come, and that's any human being, but specifically men, because the first thing you know as a man, when you go in there with, hey, this is what you fighting for. You know it. You know it. Just like what Tico said. I'm just giving you a taste of what's happening in jail. You know it. That's what keeps you in order. So if this woman can't discipline her son the way she deems fit because of what he was about to do, what now keeps that son in order? A conversation? Come now. He's going to be like, all right. And the next day, back at it.
Right.
Even if he does resent her. There's things I resent my mom for, but guess what? As I got older, I realized, damn, she was right. Mad as hell. I can't stand her ass. She always got something to say. Here I am older, like,
well, you had a point.
I mean,
You know,
I'm glad I listened on that one.
yeah.
Shit could have got bad
it
for
could
your
have got
boy.
real.
Like being in the bathroom having to fight somebody off my ass at a teenager. Now, you want that for him? Because that's what you're looking at. Because it's going to happen. And it's sad to say, in the facilities that I have worked, that is something that you see more often than not. And that's at a young age. I ain't even talking about adults. I'm talking about teenagers. And that shit is sad, man. That is sad.
Yeah.
Now, you want to come back from that? So which one would you rather have? Somebody in your boo-boo or the belt?
And then, like you said, unfortunately, you don't have someone as a male figure having that very transparent and real conversation with this boy of like, look now, you keep doing this stupid shit if you want to.
Somebody gonna fuck you.
This
in
is
your
what's
ass.
gonna happen.
You gonna get something in your ass. Now, is that what you want? Because you might like it, and then that's what causes people. But that's how we.
Okay.
No. I'm saying, but that's how we were talked to. Like, so people told you straight up, like, Dad used to say stuff like, "Oh, okay, you want something? You want somebody to run up in your butt, huh?" You'd be like, "Well, no, I don't want nobody to run up in my butt." Well, then don't do that. Oh, okay. Well, then I won't do that then, because I definitely don't want that. Is that where this leads? Yes. Oh, I'll sit down
Immediately.
right now. right now. I'm gonna sit. There's no reason for that. Matter of fact, let me get this education.
Mm-hmm.
It's free.
Because that's what I'm saying. 9 years old, go to fuck the school, my nigga.
Nah.
Like, life is gonna get harder the older you get. Enjoy it at 9. 9. You're sitting here thinking about a robbery at 9. Come on, you and a group. That's what I'm saying. A group chat. So there's more of you niggas.
So I'm gonna leave y'all with this, and I'm gonna stay off of it. It's because of the music and the culture that has been perpetuated before them. Now, the one thing I will challenge mom is, do you highlight that behavior?
That's what I want to know.
Because if you listen into that music, if you listen into that culture, if you're in the world where that is highlighted and celebrated, rather than celebrating somebody who goes to school, who gets their grades, who does what they're supposed to do, then your son is now a reflection of what you yourself have a value for. And I have had drop down arguments with friends about the music and the culture that these kids are being exposed to is why they behave this way. There's no balance. So when they wear poo shiesties and hoodies, they look like criminals.
Yeah.
But we think checking them for it is checking them because this is the culture. It's not the culture. The issue that you have is you have young people that don't have a lot of guidance, but then they see in front of them these people who are being celebrated. It's just that simple. You see that being celebrated. I had a brother ask me, well, what's the difference between white athletes choosing certain schools and black athletes choosing school? I told him flat out, white parents don't focus on only making it in the sport.
Right.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
Whereas you will have black parents who will put the weight of the world on the kid at age 13 to make it like he's the one and don't give a damn about his grades. And then even the ones that do give a damn about the grades, they still don't have plan B if this don't work, because everybody celebrates the fact that he's a great athlete. The academic side is like, we'll get to it. They talk that because other people tell them to talk that. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, yeah, we worried about them grades too. Use a lie. because I ain't seen you make one phone call and he's failing.
Mhm.
Like, that's the type of stuff that I see. Whereas the white parents will be like, nah, we going to these college fairs, we going here, because this is just a part
Mhm.
of a whole. This is just recreational. This is not the end of the end.
Mhm.
The culture that you breed in your house sometimes comes out. She could be looking at exactly what she bred.
Yeah, very much so.
Like,
And then that's your fault. I mean, we talked about it before. Well, parents carrying that cadence of accountability for what it is that you've done to this child.
correct.
You know, so
Well, and so Danielle says there's a double standard between how you do boys versus girls. I know his mom meant well, but why is his dad not present or a male figure who can shape his behavior?
we don't know.
And then, like, what if his dad is in prison and his son is just like him?
That very well could happen.
Could very well be.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the one thing, reading the story, there is no talk of any male figure in this boy's life, because even when they did take a quote from a family member, it was a great aunt.
Mhm.
It didn't say anything like, oh, uncle or father. We don't even know if his father's alive. There's no mention of dad whatsoever. So this boy could be acting out because there is no male present in his life. Who knows? There's a lot missing from this story. And unfortunately, unless, like you said, she has a really good attorney who can play up these things, we probably won't ever know.
And you know what's going to be the first thing they pull up? His behavior in school.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the first thing that they're going to pull up is his
frame
behavior in
him
school.
as a criminal.
And that's going to be some issues. And they're going to talk about like his delinquencies and things
Mhm.
like that, and where his grade point average
And
is.
then make her out as a bad parent. And this is the reason for why the child acted the way that he did. And,
yeah.
you know.
Because we're talking about somebody at age 9.
Mhm.
Like, so that's the other part. He's 9 years old, and this is what we're talking about. It's a sad play, man. It's a sad play. Hold on, we got a big one. Birmingham City Schools used to have a field trip to
What?
Jefferson County Jail. And yes, the inmates at Jefferson County Jail were very, very clear what happens when you come to jail.
Why is
You
that
come
a
in
field
here,
trip?
you get effed. We were in the 6th and 7th grade.
You know, Chuck, you experienced a lot of trauma, and I am sorry for that.
But
'cause
why doesn't anybody see what I'm saying? Like, so then now I'm in the 6th grade and we go to the jail, right?
as a field trip,
Tyrone is on the other side talking about, you want to know what's going to happen to you? You come up in here. Guess what's happening when I leave? I'm not going to go up in there. We keep coddling these
wait
kids.
a minute. I still have to go back to the fact that this is a field trip and parents signed off on this
Of
shit.
course they signed off on it. Because I'm trying to tell you,
What
man.
happened to the science center? Like, what? I gotta go to jail?
Nah,
What
we
if I
gonna-
do
we
well
just
in
gonna-
school? This is my reward?
Yeah,
Fuck this
let's go.
shit.
Because we going to make sure you stay that way. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make
I've been
sure you
on the
stay that
bus.
way.
I'm not leaving.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Because we are
What?
so far gone now. You need something extreme to bring these kids back. Because
Well,
they're
yes.
so far gone.
Well, yes.
And that's what needs to come back.
And then, like you said, that there's no balance because, you know, I'm not going to say what we experienced growing up is a standard for anybody, but we knew the consequences. We knew there was shame. We knew that there was going to be a hostile, you know, home, because now you got to hear her mouth. Now you got to deal with the consequences of, you know, what she's going through. And I can't believe you did. You got to hear all of that you don't want to deal with. So it's like, let me just do what it is that I need to do because I don't want to deal with this. And if I do what I got to do, I don't have to deal with this.
I got to ask Danielle a question. So if he robs the bank or if he robs the corner store and kills somebody, what should be his consequence? Because you're not robbing anybody without a gun, because they would kick a kid right in his chest. Get your ass out of here. So to rob somebody, you got a gun. Somebody in this crew got a gun. So now he goes into the store and he robs somebody. What
Well, let's take
is
it back.
the consequence?
Let's take it back one step. What's the consequence for mugging your peer?
Well, it depends. That could be a fight. That could be something, you know, you should get something for that, right? So you beat somebody up, I'll give you that. But when you talk about robbing somebody, we ain't going in with our fingers in our pocket like old school days, like stick them up. We're not doing that shit. So you're going into a store with a ski mask on with a possibility of somebody behind the desk being, having a gun as
Yeah.
well. What is the consequence for that? I just need to know. I need to know anybody who feels like 9 is too young.
Oh, okay. Well, give me some context here, Chuck.
What's that?
Makes sense. He said it was a part of civics class. We sat in court, talked to a judge, saw how they process inmates, and okay, so that makes sense.
And yes, got our booties threatened.
I wasn't going to keep reading that.
No, read it. It's right there.
No, but I just didn't understand how a field trip to the county jail was a thing. But since it was a part of civics, that makes sense. And that also makes sense for why you understand politics. The civics doesn't happen anymore. So it makes sense. Thank you for the context. I appreciate it. Thanks, Chuck.
And yes, we got our booties threatened. Don't you try to. That's why I showed the comment, because they told them 6th and 7th graders, come in here, that's your ass, literally, not figuratively, literally. And guess what? Because all that other stuff Chuck is talking about, nobody give a damn about sitting in no judge. The most effective part was what he just said at the end, because that's what he led with. Yes,
and did.
Yeah. I know not to do this because I end up in there with him. I'm not doing that. It's just that simple. I'm not doing this. Why? Because my mom told me, if you ever thought about it, I'll kill you first. And just to show you I mean it, I'll choke you out. You want to see? Here it is. Never did I think I'm going to send her to jail. All I thought was, damn, she's a woman of her word. Probably shouldn't do that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I get it, Chuck. I get it. I get it. I was just asking for a little context because it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't remember the judge, but I remember them. You remember each face that said what's going to happen. Right. Just like, Mom, hey, you want to slap box? Mom, why am I slap boxing you? Pop, pop, pop. She hit me with a 3-piece. You ain't know I had hands. If you ever think about whooping my ass, you better kill me. Damn. See how that works? You see what I'm saying? So then now a mom take that extension cord and beat that ass real bad. Guess what you ain't gonna do? Pick up that gun. You're not. Because you know she'll do it again. But see, when you see mom get locked up and now you with aunties, and then the aunties are supporting the fact that, oh, she went too far and all that other crazy shit, guess what he's going to do?
That little criminal ain't coming to my fucking house.
You created a monster.
You're not coming to my house. No.
You created a monster.
Mm-mm.
But from what perspective are you asking? I am asking you, what should happen to a 9-year-old who is ready and has a plan to rob a corner store?
Auntie B, you got any thoughts? No, that's right. You want to come and join us and let us know, because you're a parent. You know, he said, I got plenty.
Oh, here, let me let you slide past
Come on and sat on down, Auntie B. Said, oh, I got plenty.
Where do we begin?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I wasn't here for the first part, but I was here for this whole booty
Well,
here.
well,
And
just
stared straight.
as a recap, a 37-year-old woman, she's a licensed nurse, 10 years. She finds out that her son mugged one of his peers, and then later on had plans to rob a store. There was a group chat that she had found in his phone. She also found the ski mask. There was a whole plan surrounding this. So she then decides to beat him with the extension cord. She beats his hands with the extension cord. She punched him in the chest, choked him or put her hands around his neck or whatever, and then pinned him to the ground. He then runs away, and the child is found at a McDonald's in Flatbush. They then, call the authorities. I guess he tells everything that happens. Mom gets arrested and is now possibly facing felony assault charges.
How old is this?
9.
Do we need to discuss what side I'm on?
You've touched a little bit about, how you roll.
Yes. Is Xavier on here?
Uh-oh.
He would know. Yeah. No, I don't.
X,
I'm
you
old
know what
school.
X has been real quiet.
No, I'm old school. I was. So was Kim. So no. Now, when did an extension cord?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you would have got to beat down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I got a pool stick.
Well,
Damn.
wait a minute.
Well, I don't know which one I want.
What's going on here? What we doing with the pool stick?
'Cause, my boys are much bigger than I am.
And for those that don't know, this is his son. Yes, I would know. She old school.
X been real quiet.
Do I believe in beating your child senseless? No. Do I believe in beating your child senseless? No.
Mm-hmm.
I do not.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Mom and Dad would tag us.
Yes, you better tell it all, X. He said in another bed.
Just in case she tries to butter it up, Mom and Dad would tag us.
He said, you next. Bow.
yeah, because if y'all trying to help, we believe in we believed in brotherly love. If you try to tag, you want some of this?
Right. Now I'm getting my ass beat for taking up for my brother.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's what we want from y'all.
Right.
But do you want any of this?
Right.
That's your question. And it's like, man, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I see you later. On the backside.
Exactly. Now go sit down.
I know.
Go sit down. So as a parent,
yes.
And seeing everything that has happened, because like I said, she's a 37-year-old woman, but seeing everything has happened, we know what potentially can happen when young boys are confronted with the police and in a situation such as this.
Yeah.
What do you feel should have been done?
I believe that as far as the police is concerned,
well, the mother, what do you like? What do you feel she should have done?
Once they put her in handcuffs?
Well, before we got to handcuffs.
Oh, no. Well, he's 9.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It really did.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Now, I believe in a strong male presence.
Yes.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, especially with boys, I believe it makes a hell of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that has nothing to do with strong single mothers
Mhm.
raising children. But I believe that the influence of a male on a male child is imperative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And and my boys had a strong, they had their dad, a strong male figure. So it starts early.
Mm-hmm.
It starts early.
Mm-hmm.
And that discipline is invaluable. It's life altering.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And I do. I just truly believe that this starts, from the time the child's born, to be honest
Mhm.
with you. So that when you're 9, this doesn't happen.
Right.
And it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
And all due seriousness, it's unfortunate. He's 9 years old.
9. Mm-hmm.
And what do you do to correct that behavior? Because now that child has a lot of healing to do.
Yes.
A lot of healing to do. And I believe the mom reacted in the only way she knew how to.
Mm-hmm.
She may not have had those coping mechanisms to deal
Right.
with this.
Right.
And so and I'll do fairness and honesty. There's just a whole bunch of healing and a whole bunch of interventions that need to be done.
Yes.
And a whole bunch of building of skill sets
Mm-hmm.
to cope with this, because this is a lot
A lot.
for a
Mhm.
9-year-old to deal with, because a 9-year-old does not have the mental capacity to deal with all of this stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what you say. I don't care how mature you say they are.
Yeah, you're
He
9.
doesn't. He's 9.
He's
Mm-hmm.
9.
He's 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Because these are some grown ass problems now.
Listen.
Mhm.
And that's a-
Listen.
Mhm.
He's 9.
He has no idea what's about to happen just because
No.
now mom has a felony. She
Yes.
can't go back to her job. Now what?
No.
Can't go back.
No.
No, and I
But
didn't even
she-
think about that. No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
but she reacted in the only way she knew how.
To try to get the point across.
Yeah, and to
Mhm.
stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she wants to stop it in its tracks right now.
Right.
Mhm.
Because she understands that this is out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
This is way out of hand. I have to
Right.
stop this.
And that was why I was saying I empathize with her because
Yes.
I don't feel like anyone who is a nurse, like you said, you have to have, I would think, a level of emotional intelligence, and
Yeah.
you're not going to react this way immediately. It's just that I don't know what to do anymore. So this is what I'm going to have to do to get through to you, because like you said, he's 9. And like you said, these behaviors didn't just show up overnight.
No.
It didn't just come up overnight.
So I'm pretty sure you've been dealing with this.
She's been dealing with it for a while now.
And now you got to the point where you're like, I'm going to be with the rest of these kids, or whoever, we don't know who was in the group chat, but the rest of these people, we're going to do this. And mom lost it.
Yeah.
She just lost it.
Well, the first thing you think about is the safety of your child.
Yeah, of course.
This does not end up well at all for him. It's
all.
either death or jail.
Mm-hmm.
So as a parent, as a mother, all she saw at that point was red. You're not doing this.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So he may have pushed the limit in other areas, which, 9 years old, I'm sure he's probably done some things in school, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But what you're not going to do is this.
Right.
So somewhere, this is the line that she said, nah, we can't go past this.
Right.
Yeah.
And by him seeing her consequences, now there is no line for this young man.
Mm-hmm.
There is no line for him anymore.
See, and I truly believe, and that is, the criminal justice system. You know how I feel about that. You know how I feel about the criminal justice system. See, this does not warrant incarceration.
No.
This warrants an intervention.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
This warrants an intervention
Mm-hmm.
because both of them are struggling. Both of them are in crisis mode.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we need to stop this criminal, persecution, and say, okay,
Agreed.
we need to start helping her
Yes.
get some parental skill sets to help him, because he is in crisis too.
Mhm.
This is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to help you stop this, or begin to start healing this
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
right now.
Yes.
That's what needs to be done. She does not need to be, put in handcuffs and catch a charge for that.
Exactly. No.
No. This is where somebody in the judicial system needs to say, you know what? No,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Exactly.
This is crazy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's what I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for her attorney, because going through the article, it seems like, he is really trying to work actively to, like you said, we have to do something.
This is the
It's not
time.
jail time,
Mhm.
but there's something else that
No.
can be done here,
Right.
and she doesn't need to
No.
be faulted for this.
Right.
She didn't kill him.
No.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
People who truly harm their children aren't in jail.
No.
That need to be
Hello.
in jail.
Mhm.
Like I said, let's talk about the foster care
I
system.
mean, yeah. I mean, as a trauma ER nurse, I know
Mhm.
all about that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because that's sad
Mm-hmm.
and ugly and unnecessary.
Correct.
So you won't intervene with that,
No.
but you're going to intervene with this?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't believe that.
Right.
I don't believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part where, like you said, intervention needs to be played, because both of the child and mom are going to end up in court.
Mm-hmm.
To get mom out, they're going to have to talk about all the derogatory things that this son has done, which mom is experiencing and going through. They're going to have to make it like this is a hardship. A 9-year-old is not going to hear that and process it besides any way that's personal, hurt, and get more angry and have
Mhm.
more resentment.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it needs to be a close court.
Yeah. So
And he
it
needs to be.
has to be,
Yeah,
because
and
at
he
this,
needs to be.
there's no way mom can get off without them running down the child's resume.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to say that this is a troubled child.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, see, and that's it.
Mhm.
Labeling him a troubled child. He's
Mhm.
not a troubled child. He's a child in crisis.
yes, exactly.
That's what he is.
Exactly.
And this is a crisis.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And with a crisis, you need an intervention. That's what I'm saying. And you need some grace. You need some kindness. You need some intervention, and you need to help her and him,
Yeah.
develop coping skills.
After getting his ass beat though, because that's
Absolutely.
where we start.
You know how I feel about
That's where we start.
you know how I feel about that.
After
I
that ass
thought we had
beating.
moved past that step.
Then we can talk about
Now we're talking about after the ass whooping.
But let's start there.
Yeah. This is why you make mama do this. Why you make mama go here? I was trying so hard, baby. Why you make mama do this to you?
And then you get mad at yourself.
Yeah.
I know she's beating
And then you're
herself
like,
up.
dang, gum,
Yes.
he sent me there.
Yeah.
He sent me
Exactly.
there.
And that's why I say when I said I express empathy for her, I get it. Because kids will take you there and then you get mad at yourself. You beat yourself up. Like, why did I let you take me there?
Because it's unconditional.
Right. It is.
And because you will sacrifice yourself before your child. Before you see your child hurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You will do whatever is necessary. And she was scared.
As hell.
She was scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's why.
there's no way for this to end up positive.
It's no way.
He's either going to jail or he's going to die.
Mm-hmm. And she knows that.
At 9.
And I
At
would
9 years
rather
old.
sacrifice myself
Mm-hmm.
than see my child hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Yeah.
She had no other way. She had no other means to her
Mm-hmm.
but to lash out.
She need to make sure you on her attorney team. Lady,
Okay?
Yeah, come on, Law and
TDS
Order.
Radio.
This all ties in with, National Minority Health.
I know that's right.
If you need legal assistance and help, call us here at TDS Radio. Get you with the healing consultant.
Healing consultant.
Hello.
She'll be,
Healingconsultant.com.
she'll
I have
be your advocate.
consultations.
That was one hell of some closing remarks. Right
yeah.
there.
She just had no other choice.
She didn't. She didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
because
like, damn, she sure didn't, huh?
she didn't.
Goodness.
No,
She
to
was
save
in-
his life though. She did.
Yeah, she was in crisis mode.
Yeah.
And the only thing she knew what to do,
Mhm.
honestly, is to whoop that ass.
Yeah.
Because what he didn't do was run and still rob that
Yeah.
corner store. He
Right.
ran to somebody's house.
No.
She-
He ran away, but they found him at a McDonald's.
Yeah,
You
but
didn't go rob that
honestly,
store.
she probably felt okay, well, this is a win. I mean, because he didn't do
He didn't
Right.
do it.
honestly.
He didn't do it. Yeah.
Honestly, you don't know how she feels, but I'm quite sure she was like, well, okay. This
At
is-
least he
this is
didn't do
some-
that.
At least he didn't do that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I do. I feel that way.
Yeah.
I
At
mean,
least he didn't do it.
that has to do with with love. It's
Mhm.
unconditional love
Mhm.
for your child.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You'll kill somebody over a child.
And will. And people have.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Listen.
Absolutely. No, you don't
Just
mess
saying.
around. You don't do that. This is all about healing people. She needs somebody to help her.
Yes.
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 I mean,
Agreed.
really.
This is a cry
Agreed.
for help. Mm-hmm.
Because
Jude.
see, that's never mind that because that'll take us down a whole nother thing. Because at the end of the day, the parent who or the family members who took them in,
Mhm.
where the hell y'all been? Because it ain't new that she's struggling with this boy.
No.
So don't
No.
try that all of a sudden like
No.
we're surprised and
No.
we don't know. Y'all know. This is like you said, she needs support. She needs help.
support. She needs help.
You get to this point, then now all of a sudden,
And then on top of that, it sounds like she's a single parent. You're working
Yes.
these long hours to come home and you talking about you want to rob somebody. That
'Cause she's
that
a nurse,
woman-
right?
Yes. That woman lost
No,
her
we're
damn
not
mind.
even going to talk about
Right.
stress.
She
Because she's
What?
been dealing with BS
all
all
day
day,
for 10
long.
years. For 10
all
years.
day long.
So-
I told somebody that, because they were talking,
God.
because I worked at numerous trauma
Mhm.
centers, level 1 trauma centers. And, it's just, running with your hair on fire 24/7.
Mhm.
You're drinking coffee and eating, chocolate espresso coffee beans.
Right.
I mean, making it through shift. And I say this, I said, you don't understand being a nurse anesthetist, doing this type of thing, you doing penitentiary time,
Yeah.
you doing hard time,
Mhm.
and they just let you out for furlough just to sleep and
Mhm.
eat, and
Mhm.
you back in it.
And you right back in it.
And it's like that.
Mhm.
So I feel for her. She
Absolutely.
is dealing with BS all day long.
And I gotta
And
deal
then you
with this
come
shit?
home and you got to deal with this? No. Mm-mm.
Well,
Takes
man,
This ain't happening today.
Takes me to a quick Debbie story. When my mother worked for Greyhound, she would take the trips from Pittsburgh to Philly to New Jersey and then turn around and come back. So she would be gone for multiple days. And one time she came back because, I got left at school. Nobody picked me up from football after the game was over. It was kind of fucked up. It's kind of messed up.
All right.
I had never seen her. Now, I've seen her angry, but I've never seen her so angry about, like, her quotes was, I'm out on this mother road driving this mother effing bus, and all I asked you simple mother effers to do is make sure my son was picked up, you punk mother. I mean,
Sheesh.
Uncle Brad and our stepdad at that time
Got cussed the fuck out.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Like, to the point where I was on the steps, all I could do is just, oh my. I've never seen a woman just take a man and just, I mean, but you could hear the hurt of,
Yes.
I'm on this road
trying to get
and
this
all
money.
I asked you
was
to do
one motherfucking
was
thing.
just to pick him up from school. And now I can't even know that my son is safe, that you guys pick him up from a football game. She's like, my son is catching a bus at 11 p.m. to come home. You mother. It was crazy. I'm like, I'm sorry. Because all she said was, how the hell did you get home? Got the bus. And it was on from there.
Yikes.
Yeah, that does sound biblical.
And it was on, but it was just the level of protection.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's
At
what
that
I'm
point
saying.
in time. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like,
I have two men in the household and I'm expecting one of you two to do this one thing for me
Woo.
while I go out and make money to support my damn kids in this household.
I've never heard her that mad before. And I've seen her actually punch people in the face. I've never heard her that mad and that hurt and the lashing that came out. So that's the mindset I go into, that this woman had seen you as a child, concoct the plan. She's seen the group conversations with you and your friends. She found the mask, all that other stuff. She just hit, that was a breaking point.
Yeah.
She hit
After
it.
dealing with I'm dealing with at work.
Oh, God, yes.
You know, like,
and she has to come home to this because this ain't new.
No.
I'm tired of your ass.
Yeah.
This is not new for us. This road,
I'm tired of your ass.
This road has been frequently taken. Yeah. It's the truth. Again,
that's why I'm telling
everybody needs some healing. Everybody does.
Well, since we have more healing to go around, let's talk about this messy letter.
Oh, that wasn't a messy letter.
No.
Oh, that was news entertainment.
No, that's fucked up.
We didn't even get a chance to say
that's true.
Entertainment news.
Okay.
So,
but
so
something
now,
you'll be happy about real quick. You see that they're bringing the Varnell Hill.
I did see that. Varnell Hill is coming back as the Martin spinoff. You know, I'm happy. Who can take children, bounce them on their knee?
Okay.
It's going to be on BET Plus and almost kind of like The Office setting, where you're going to see the background of what happens before the show actually happens.
Yeah.
But Tommy is going to reprise his role, and it's set to come out, I believe, next year. So
that's dope.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, but you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, we might as well keep this shit rolling. So it's time for
This sounds like
the messy letter.
Sounds like a whole bunch of
yes,
healing,
yes,
minority national holiday. But go ahead.
This is definitely some healing. So this one says,
there we go.
Just got right to it. I messaged and blocked my wife's ex on her Facebook account without her permission. My wife's ex sent a message to her and she did not tell me immediately. When I found out that man messaged her, I immediately checked what he said and it was already deleted by my wife. I told her, you should block him. She said she would, but I got impatient and then I made a move to use her phone, then messaged him on her account that you should stop texting my wife. If you want to tell her something, tell it to me and I will relay it to my wife. Then I told my wife what I did and she told me that I invaded her privacy. She told me she doesn't trust me. She changed her phone password and also her social media account. We talked about the situation and sorted it out a little, but she still locked her phone. So I am being paranoid all the time when I'm seeing her all quiet using her phone. I'm thinking to myself, what is she doing on her phone again? I want to know, did she unblock her ex? She's also hiding her phone when she is unlocking it, preventing me to see what her password is. One time when she was opening her phone in front of me, she is looking if I am looking at her phone. I can't take it out of my mind, even though we talked. I need help.
Y'all are cracking me up.
What does he need help with?
He said he, I guess, can't take the whole situation out of his head, and even though they talked about it, and he's paranoid
What's the trust issue?
What's the situation?
that she could possibly or potentially be talking to her ex.
And he's not able, she's changed the password.
Mm-hmm.
She's, I'm sure he feels that there's some various
Someone
stuff
asked,
going on.
could you read? Danielle asked, could you read that again?
Absolutely. So it says, I messaged and blocked my wife's ex on her Facebook account without her permission.
Okay.
My wife's ex sent a message to her, and she did not tell me immediately. When I found out that man messaged her, I immediately checked what he said, and it was already deleted by my wife. I told her, you should block him. She said she would, but I got impatient. And then I made a move to use her phone and then messaged him on her account that you should stop texting my wife. If you want to tell her something, tell it to me and I will relay it to my wife. Then I told my wife what I did, and she told me that I invaded her privacy. She told me she doesn't trust me. She changed her phone password and also her social media account. We talked about the situation and sorted it out a little, but she still locked her phone. So I am being paranoid all the time. When I am seeing her all quiet using her phone, I'm thinking to myself, what is she doing on her phone again? I want to know, did she unblock her ex? She's also hiding her phone when she is unlocking it, preventing me to see what her password is. One time when she is opening her phone in front of me, she is looking to see if I'm looking at her phone. I can't take this out of my mind, even though we talked. I need help.
Well, he does need help, but he needs some therapy. Because he's either going to believe or he's not.
Exactly.
I don't understand. You're either going to believe her or you're not.
Pretty much.
It's some trust issues. The origin of those trust issues or his. But she's chosen. She's chosen to be private. She's obviously chosen a part of her personal life to be private. I don't know what to do. What do you want to do with that?
Yeah. And that's a good question. From the male perspective, what do you think he should do?
If you're a man going through your woman's phone, you're already in trouble. I've been with Chiquita for over 10 years and never once have I picked up her phone. And the reason why is because, once again, a Debbie nugget. All right, search through there and you see some shit you don't want to see. Can you handle that? What you have to realize is, what's your everyday life? Don't let the phone turn fantasy into a reality in your head. This person is operating with you every day, moving with you every day, paying bills every day, raising kids, all that shit every day. And you're going to let something that's texting that phone mess you up?
Yeah.
All right. That's how, but once again, that's how you check behaviors. You're like, well, yeah, I guess that would be kind of asinine to get mad.
Yeah, because
there's so many other things.
And I don't understand why you got mad, because you saw that she didn't even respond. She deleted it and she went on about her day. And so what is the problem? The fact that she didn't say that he messaged, like, who cares?
So you might not have enough to do.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest, man. I joke with Chiquita all the time because she's a person that, nobody's texting me or nobody's hitting me. You's a lie. You are a beautiful woman. I know men hit on you. Stop it. But
you didn't look at that request part on your Instagram DMs when niggas is talking to themselves.
Cut it out. But as a guy, I have so much other stuff to do and so many other things to do in my home that's not important. If the other behaviors are not following the conversations, meaning like she's specifically treating me different, and now I can see there's a difference in you, what you're texting and all that stuff, I don't give a damn. I really don't. I really, really don't. And I do feel like people make the fantasy that comes through all these technical devices a reality in their mind when some of this stuff is not even tangible. If it's an escape for her, and I know people like, man, what are you talking? If it's an escape for her, my brother, then you're doing something wrong. Get your shit together.
Pay more attention to your woman.
Get your shit together. Like,
Okay.
so if she's finding something in this phone that she's not finding with you, then my brother, you might have to do some self-evaluation. Because why is she more drawn to the phone than home?
Yeah.
I mean, these are things that I don't know. I tend to believe in accountability. Okay, so if my woman is into another dude, am I really doing what I'm supposed? And then now if I start checking the boxes and notice that, well, yeah, I am. Well, then, but then the question I have is, how much dialogue are you having to where she's constantly here?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and then are you making matters worse? So are you making it seem like she's picking up her phone 15 times a day, but in reality, it may be once or twice. But because you're so paranoid, you've now made the situation blown completely, out of order, where it's just like, dude, what you think I'm doing, I'm not. Like, you're thinking she's hiding the phone, but really, is she really?
He's insecure.
Yeah.
He said, I went to go use her phone. Once again,
And why is he using her phone?
I have been with this woman for 10 plus years.
Mhm.
Never
Yeah.
once did I say, I'm gonna use your phone. What the?
Yeah.
Well, he only did that because he found out that the ex had sent a message on social
But
media.
you can't control the ex.
Mhm.
You can't
Mhm.
control that. Like,
Mhm. And then he also got mad because he said the wife said something, but she did not tell me immediately.
she may never tell you at all.
Maybe it's insignificant to her.
That-
Mhm.
She may never tell you at all, bruh.
I mean, it
You
obviously-
went fishing for something that you should have just chilled out on.
And if she told you, why couldn't the argument just stop? Well, not even argument. Why couldn't the discussion just stop there?
So usually situations that I've seen like this where men have acted like this, they
Mhm.
were cheating first.
Mm.
Okay.
Straight up. Like,
Hmm.
and I it was usually younger guys.
Well,
Like,
that's what Jay said. He must
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
young.
younger
Um,
dudes. Because I have never, okay, I'll put it to you like this. Now I'm rounding the corner on 44 at the end of the month. I have not seen anybody from the ages of 35 and up really go hard about what's on a woman's phone. You got other shit to do.
Right.
And especially if there's kids involved. Matter of fact, I hope you are texting somebody. Or leave me the hell alone for a minute. Like, because
I need a timeout.
yeah, because your day-to-day operations, man. Like, when I kind of joke about it, but I'm serious. But your day-to-day operations lets you know what's going on. If this person is here with you every single day and all that stuff, and you see their patterns and their practices, and you know what's going on, then what are you tripping for? You start tripping when you feel something's wrong, possibly because you're not doing your job or somewhere y'all ain't connecting. But it's still a conversation that you can fix your relationship. Take dude out and work on your relationship and ask her, like, well, is there something going on to where you feel like you need to talk to him?
Yeah.
But to get upset and start searching phones and all that,
And to take her phone after she had dealt with it, you then proceeded to take her phone and then respond to this man after she deleted the message. Like,
a lot of negative energy.
That
That's a
is
lot of energy.
That's
you
a
have
lot.
yeah.
A lot.
That's
and the ex is laughing at you.
Because I would. I'd be like, nigga, what?
Because here's the thing, she's gonna find a way to talk to him if she wants to. Everybody's grown here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't stop
Well,
a
'cause now,
person
yeah,
from doing
because
it.
now he's in your head.
Yeah.
Now he is absolutely in your head, occupying
Taking up
time
space.
and
Yep.
space. I mean, even if you really just don't, because you don't know what the message was. I mean,
No.
it could have been something like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah,
You know,
just checking on
long
you.
time no
Yeah.
see. I mean, or whatever. You know, but now that he's got stuff, living rent free.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like you've
As-
seen a thread or anything like that. She
Yeah,
deleted it and
was
then
a message.
a message. That's it.
It was
On
a
social
message
media.
on social media.
People, I'm telling you, this stuff is a terrible drug, man.
Come on, come on.
What's this message here?
Well, Jazz said the letter is 2 words:
Oh.
communication and therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Danielle said, although I see both sides, she's either sleeping with the ex or she doesn't want him to see the message she's saying about him in the friend's conversation. The ex seen that message and talking mess. Could be.
So
Anything's possible.
sleeping with somebody, like, once again, the
No, we just talking about sex.
every,
'Cause let's be honest, because sex for a man and sex for a woman are two
Different.
Two different
completely
things.
different things.
Mhm.
For a man, it's an act. You know, he can conceivably hit it and quit it. I mean, it's not a thing. But for a woman, you've got it's intimate.
Mhm.
It's intimate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
It's a process.
Yes. It's an emotional attachment to this.
Mm-hmm.
process.
Two different things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my comment about sex.
And if the patterns haven't changed, man, then just relax. Like I'm in every relationship, people have patterns. You can tell who you know who your person is.
Absolutely.
My brother, if the patterns haven't changed and you just seen a message, then come on, bro.
Let it go.
Because I'll put it to you like this. You may be focusing on an ex and it might be another message from somebody else. And you're completely distracted. Like, don't let that distract you. I just wouldn't. Unless you're just insecure about the ex. And this is something that, once again, you got to work out in your head.
Yeah.
That's not for her to work out. That's
Absolutely
for you.
not.
Yeah, well, like Danielle was saying, he needs to water his own grass because you got a lot going on. And then to be completely honest, like she probably is feeling some sort of way because I didn't tell you to pick up my phone and to message this man.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? Because you may be creating drama that didn't need to happen.
Right.
You know?
I was married to Kel for 36 years. He never picked up my phone.
Right.
Except to, program my new one and say, here, baby.
Exactly.
That's about
Exactly.
it.
But
There's
you went
no
and you
reason
did
for
that.
No.
There was no reason for that. So then, now I'm looking at you funny because what? Really?
Yeah.
We're going there? That's what we're doing?
Because now I got a problem with you.
Yeah. Exactly. And then
Yeah.
if you'll do that, what else will you do?
I know.
Will you start following me? You're gonna start looking through my iPad, my phone. Like I don't want to live with someone where I feel like I'm being surveillanced.
Boy, that you can't, that you're not trusted. And, and now, she could conceivably, worry about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She could have some trust issues with him
Yeah, because
now.
why you so up on me, man?
Yes. Yeah.
Why you so up
Why?
on me, bruh?
Yeah.
That could possibly be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So, dude, you do need help. And, like everyone said,
What
you
was
need to
his
go to
final
therapy.
question?
He just said, because it's in his mind, so what should he do? I need help because he feels paranoid.
Oh, you just got to
Yes.
feel a little bit more. You got to get security within yourself. The biggest thing, like I said, most of the guys who are insecure like that don't have other things to do.
Mhm.
The moment you have something to do and you realize like what's going on in your phone does not damper what's operating in my home.
Mhm.
Like, what are we talking about? And it's a certain level of mature. This is like, that's why I agree with Jazz. Either this is a very immature older guy or this is a young dude who's like new. Are they married? Yeah, they're married.
I think so. Yes, it's my wife.
Okay, so then this is just a young dude, married young. Now, young me, would I care about something like that? Yeah, because young me didn't have shit else to do. But once you get older and you have other things to do and more pressing bills and more pressing matters in your life, what's going on in that phone is not going to make or break your relationship. It's just not. Stop thinking it's tangible. Like sometimes people think just because someone reached out that immediately means like, no, we're going to connect. Sometimes a reach out is just that. They just reached out. What's happening?
Yeah.
That's it.
Saw you on whatever social media platform. Say, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can be literally just that.
It could be that simple. And then, or you've done your own thing and now you know what it is that you've done. And I'm telling you, most of the guys that I've seen act like that is because they've done something. So then all they're doing is just playing off their insecurities of what they've done because it's like, well, I know what I do. Well, stop doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
And sit the hell down somewhere.
Find a hobby.
Hello. Hello.
Them phones, man. Them phones are
Not a
trust.
hobby.
Man, I don't even understand why you would pick up somebody else's phone and think that you're going to see something. Like, what are you intending to see? Picking up the phone, you're already in the mindset of looking for something wrong. So no matter what you read, you're not going to read it from an objective standpoint. You're going to read it from the insecurity that caused you to pick it up in the first place.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
so don't even do it. Like the thing to pay attention to is the behaviors. Now, if you notice that, you're starting to treat me different.
Just say no.
Yeah. Now, why are you treating? Talk here, not because of the cell phone.
Absolutely.
Because it ain't. Believe me, if she's doing something, the cell phone is not the conduit of why she's doing something.
Absolutely.
It's something else, my brother.
Absolutely. And let's
It's
be
definitely
honest.
something else.
Yeah, because I mean, if she were doing it, let's be honest, she's not going. She's not doing
that's
the
too
social
easy.
media thing. Because we don't do that.
No, it's messy.
We don't do that.
That's way too easy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we're not leave a trail.
Yeah, no.
We're not leaving a trail unless we want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
It's the truth.
Mhm.
What? Because what are we talking here? We are talking about, education.
Hello.
Healthcare. If I am not here to educate the youth, what am I here for? I mean, come on, y'all. I'm serious. Come on. Come on.
Danielle said, build up his self-esteem, find what makes him happy and focus on that and
Yeah.
focus on getting his money and move on to something more important.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, bless his heart.
Yeah. That's all we can do as far as helping you because you need to get your shit together.
Yeah, I don't.
There's
I don't,
far
You need
more
some- you
pressing
need some
things to worry
therapy.
about. Yes.
Yeah, I don't have.
And some help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need some help.
Yeah.
So get you some drops and some gummies.
Absolutely.
Go find a therapist and
Yeah.
go sit the hell. And like you said, find something to do. Find some friends.
Find a hobby. Do
Promise
something.
When you get something to do, you don't care.
I promise you. I promise you.
Mm-mm.
You got some
Promise
idle
you don't
time
care.
on your
You don't
hands.
care when you start
And I'm-
getting into what you're supposed to get into. That is not important.
Or better yet, if you decide you're gonna get into your significant other, that'll occupy a
It'll
lot of time
wipe it
for a
away.
man. I'm telling you.
You'll wipe
I'm
it
just
away.
saying. Yeah, it'll occupy a lot of your time.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Agreed
just-
1,000%. You start focusing on her, it's going to take away the time to text.
It certainly will.
The time to text is her idle time because y'all ain't doing nothing. Even
Uh-huh.
if that's just let's have a conversation, whatever. She has the time because what are you doing?
Because what are you doing? Yeah. Because obviously, she has some time. And let's be honest, this could have been 5 seconds, a 5-minute look at her.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you sitting up there watching her,
Yeah.
you really
Yeah.
have too much time on your hands.
And that's what I'm saying. His insecurity has created a warped sense of reality because what you're telling us may not be true at all. If she
Absolutely.
were to give her side, she'd be like, I don't even pick up my phone like
Uh-huh.
that. I don't pay no attention to this man,
no.
but
Like,
he
what are you
feels that
talking
way.
about?
And to your point, like you said, now I got to be extra paranoid because I was cheating. So yikes.
When you tell her, one of the cardinal rules of manhood is to not necessarily approach the man until you know what's up, until the woman has been violated to a point where you're like, I got to protect her. But to call a dude and be like, don't call my wife, you know how corny that is?
Super
crazy.
corny.
That is crazy.
Super
you know-
corny.
Do you know how bad that just made you look, my boy?
Yeah.
Like, that dude hung up the phone laughing at your ass.
Oh, God,
like,
yes.
what are we talking about?
If you want to
Not
talk
only
to
that,
her,
thinking-
talk through me.
Oh, you got to talk through me. I would have said, okay, well, tell her to call me at 7. Like,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
how lame was that? Like,
Because now
what?
you've opened the door.
Yeah.
You told me to,
Yeah.
bruh.
Mhm.
Because
Tell
you let
her
me
to
know
call
that
me at
there's a
7.
door. I wasn't knocking, but I might
Hello.
now.
Hello.
I mean,
'Cause
really.
You just told me there's problems.
Because you just told me that you got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have a problem.
Mhm.
Let's don't do Psych 101 up in here.
Exactly. Hello.
Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
There's rules to the game.
Yeah.
And you just lost.
You just lost. Because now, like I said, if he wasn't interested,
just
you're like,
lost.
you know what? I'm not gonna do this. I might just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe
Exactly. Just to be petty.
Yeah.
just to be petty.
Mhm.
Or maybe he could, or if it's an ex and love lost, then he may be like, it's my shot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because all he needs to do, honey, is have a conversation.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Because
That's
now I know there's trouble in paradise.
Uh-huh. I just need to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So why is he tripping like that?
Uh-huh. I need it.
And she gonna tell everything.
Yes.
Mhm.
Just can I just have a minute of
Mhm.
you? That's all I need. Just a minute.
Just a minute.
That's it.
I just want to make sure you're okay.
That's it.
Because why would he do something like
Uh-huh.
that? Man,
Oh, you
you're
in.
done. Yeah.
In. He is gonna mess up your game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
He's in. He's in. He's in. Because all he's got to do is, babe, what's going
Goofball.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Can you
it.
just tell me?
Yeah. What's going
Yeah,
on?
let's
Why
talk.
would he
Let me
trip
talk
like
to
that?
you. How you doing?
And the remember wins start to happen,
Now you say that for later. Now you
Yeah.
just got to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, I just got to figure out what's going on with him.
Uh-huh. I just got to figure out what's
Every
going on
question
with
is
him.
going to be, are you okay?
Uh-huh.
Like, because why would he do something like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, because he trip all the time.
Mm.
Now you just get all the intel. Oh, he
That's
trips all the
right.
time? Really?
Oh, you know.
Oh, okay.
And then the next thing you know, you'd be like, oh baby, you know what? Can I come? And it's gonna be like, can I come over?
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Me-
doing all this, man. She's gonna be like, yeah, come on over.
Yeah. Me,
I mean, hitting that hair. She's gonna be like, let me put on a little lip gloss.
Right.
Oh, well, I can't do it tonight. That's okay, honey. What you doing
Don't worry
next
about
week?
it. Yeah. But when you get a free minute.
Yeah.
Now you play the patient game because you know there's a problem.
Because you're in. Because you're in.
You play the long game now.
Yeah, you in it. You in it.
And while you sitting there looking crazy with your eyes
You are
twitching.
in
You over here
it.
talking about one message. Watch this.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. He could potentially have opened the doors to a very
Mhm.
petty, situation.
Yeah.
Because
We don't know who this man is.
He is an ex,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means they had a relationship.
Right. He knows her. So don't think he know what buttons.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
He just got to find out the intel of why this is happening. So once he finds that out, then he'll know how to maneuver.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because all he has to do is say, hey, your husband called me.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's
or
up
he
with that?
what's going on?
You all right?
That's your
Yeah,
husband
you
calling.
okay?
You all right? What's going on?
Yeah. Do you need to talk about it?
Yeah.
And she gonna be, this,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh man.
wow. Really?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Does this happen frequently? Like, is he
Yes.
like an insecure guy?
Yes.
Yeah, he's real insecure. All that intel just gonna come out.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
Yes, I love a good
Yeah.
tell me
Tell me
more.
more.
Yes. Yes. Love that.
Lord, I could be a
Yeah.
coach. I could be a therapist. Yeah. Tell me more.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Besides the healing consultant, we can
Hello.
be doing some true healing.
Hello.
And good
Goodness.
evening.
Hello. You better
Hello.
drop it.
Hello.
Let them know, Auntie Faye.
And don't be
Yes, honey.
pushy. At the end, just say, hey, well, you know my number. Give me a call. If you ever need to talk.
If you ever need to talk.
And then you
Mhm.
back out.
Because it's going
Don't
to happen.
be pushy because she's gonna come back.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's going to
I'm
happen.
She's gonna say something. He's
Mhm.
gonna say something again.
That man he gonna piss her off. The next
Uh-huh.
thing you know, I'm
Mm.
calling Richard.
Call me anytime.
Yeah.
I'll pick up the phone
I'll pick up
anytime.
Anytime. It don't
Then,
make
like
a
you
difference.
said, then that's when the in-person meeting is going to happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, you sound frustrated.
No,
I don't want that for you.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honey. Are you
Sound like you need a drink.
Yeah, let's go grab
let's
one.
go
yeah,
grab
let's
a
go
drink.
grab one. It don't have to. Yeah, just maybe after work. Or,
Mhm.
maybe I just swing by at lunchtime. I just want to see how you're doing.
That's it.
Because I just want to put eyes on you, just to
That's
make
it.
sure you're
Put eyes
okay.
on you.
Just to make sure you're okay.
That's it, and that's all. That's it, and
Same.
that is all.
And all this is happening on work or some other time when you can't monitor the phone, goofball.
Because it's not
Yeah.
hard to make a date with a woman
Mm-mm.
who is in. I'm not gonna say distress,
Yeah.
but things ain't going right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not hard to make a date with a female.
Be
It's-
real
it's
available.
all you got to
Mhm.
do. He already knows her likes.
Yep.
What if she likes records? Oh, you know what, babe? Let's meet at that spot. The one with the vinyl.
Mhm.
We can talk for a minute.
Mhm.
And then I don't want to. No, babe. I just like to be in your presence.
Yeah. Don't act like that. You know
Yeah.
how we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing. I want to make sure
Mhm.
you're okay. That's all. I just want to lay eyes on you. It's gonna be okay.
That's it.
You know what? We ain't even got to talk. We can just sit here
Just sit here and
Mhm.
just
and
chill.
be.
Mhm.
And she's out.
And she's out.
And she's out.
She's trying to figure out how she gonna get away from him.
Yeah. And she's out.
Causing
Boom.
arguments and shit.
Yeah.
Be like, girl, why are we arguing?
No, I wasn't like
Every
that.
time I
now.
come in here, you doing some shit. I was watching TV. Well, you do some shit. You like,
Mhm. You always moving remotes.
Like, nigga, what? Or she goes the opposite way.
and just gets
Baby,
quiet.
And just as quiet as a
Mhm.
church.
And that's the
mouse.
one. That's when you
Yeah.
gotta worry.
That's really when you got to
Mhm.
worry.
Woo.
Because she checking out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People start moving around, ain't saying nothing. You like, that usually pisses you off. Well, you all right?
Mhm. Oh, I'm fine. Are you okay?
Yeah, now you got the big eyes just staring at her while she walked through the
Yeah,
house like,
fine. I know.
Like the Tomlin.
you good?
I'm
I'm
fantastic.
fine. You like, oh,
Mhm.
shit.
Uh-huh.
Now he on the phone like, man, I know she cheating. I swear to God, I know she's cheating.
Mhm.
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 And yeah.
Then
And he-
look what you started. Now see, you started
and
this shit.
you see how we just escalated it all.
Yeah. All this because you couldn't mind your damn business.
Mhm.
Now she signed here and
Yeah.
said, my ex texted me and she handled it, but you had to take it a step further. Now look, she's cheating.
I'm just saying.
Now she's out listening to records.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. He may know she's a book lover. We can meet at Barnes and Noble,
Yeah.
the library. Just get a cup of coffee.
Get you a journal.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you make it a lunch date.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You don't make it an evening. You don't make it
No.
a dinner date.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get you back home.
I got
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lunch
With enough time for you to think about me afterwards. Mhm.
for the rest of your
Yep.
evening. Now you got to try to figure out how I'm gonna get back to it. This is Healing Wednesday with the healing consultant.
Come on, Free Game
Yes,
Wednesday.
come on. We're dealing with this stress,
put it all
your
out there.
anxiety. This is National Minority Health Week.
Hello.
We are here for your health.
Hello.
This is your mental health as well as your physical health.
Because why stress?
Oh, yes. Yes. And we just concentrating on minorities, Black, brown, indigenous. It's all that.
Hello.
Yes. And good
Hello.
evening, dear. Because this is where we are.
Hello.
Yeah. Now we where we are. Yes. This is fabulous.
And it's,
Now we
it's
talking
crazy.
your pain, your information, your healing.
Because I was talking to, my nail lady,
Yeah.
and she was telling me about all the stress that she goes through. And she's like, I have 6 kids and
Lord have mercy.
She really needs some drops.
don't she? They're adults now,
kids.
but
Yeah. She
now
needs
she got
some
the
lotion.
grandbabies.
Yeah, she needs some massage oil too.
and
You need
do.
to go to sleep.
And now the grandbaby, she's watching the grandbabies,
Uh-huh.
and then she's like, I don't ever get any time with just me and my husband. The kids are always around, and I'm trying to, help raise them. But then she's also working. I said, oh, girl, you need some drops. You got
She
a lot going
needs
on.
some drops.
Hello.
She really do.
And to put your damn foot down, because get these kids out of my face.
Because you've raised your children.
Hello.
You've raised your children.
Yeah.
Why am
Yeah.
I raising y'all kids?
Why am I raising your kids?
Then she said her daughter had the nerve to talk about, I want to have another. You don't watch
No,
this
you don't.
one.
No. No,
What?
absolutely not. No.
Mm.
You can have another one. You just can't have it around here. Absolutely.
Then I said, how old are the grandkids? She said 4, 2, and 7 months. Oh, shit.
Please,
Mm-mm.
baby Jesus.
Mm.
No. No. I've raised my children. I'm not dealing with yours unless I want to.
Period.
Unless I
Listen.
want to.
And you know what also is amazing too? The
What?
fact that, people, especially
Uh-huh.
Black people, just how much we're going through, but we don't realize it because we're constantly moving.
Absolutely.
Because as I'm talking to her and her story starts unfolding, I'm hearing the fact that I lost my grandmother.
Mhm.
My mother is sick.
Mhm.
I'm working nonstop. My husband's working nonstop. We haven't had any time together. I'm not sleeping. My mind is constantly racing. I'm taking care of the grandkids. I'm like, girl, there's a
Yes.
lot going on right now.
But for us, that's life.
Mhm.
I mean, but and we truly do. We conceptualize this as well. It is what it is. This is life. This is
Mhm.
what I'm doing. When which contributes to our diabetes,
Mhm.
our hypertension,
Mhm.
our aches and pains,
Mhm.
our stress, our anxiety. But we live that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to us, we've normalized
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
That's what we feel is our baseline.
Mhm.
That's what we're
Agreed.
supposed to be.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know?
because we think it's supposed to be a struggle. Like
Everything is,
That's not.
It's supposed to be a struggle.
Yeah.
Get it from the mud.
What? Yeah.
That's terrible.
Fuck that shit. Y'all hear me with a hard F. I don't want to hear no more about get it out of the mud. Get the easy way possible. If you can find
Yes.
someone that could possibly help another person to where you can avoid all that, do it.
Because that's just it. This is all, trauma response.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
You live your life, stress response, trauma response.
Mhm.
That's the way we're taught to live.
Mhm.
And it's like I said, we've normalized this.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yes. Because diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain syndrome, because yes, that's what we do.
Mhm.
Dealing with the stress, our depression, our lives. Yeah. Because that's what we do.
Mhm.
That's the way we handle stuff.
Mhm.
And it's not cool because you're
No.
not handling it.
No.
Mm-mm.
You're not handling.
Mm-mm.
You're trying to live with it,
Mhm.
and you're trying to manage it, and you're doing
Yes.
it ineffectively.
Yes.
Mhm.
You're doing it
Mhm.
ineffectively.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, even when I'm listening to her talk, everything is sounding like it's present day.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, you have not had the time to actually sit and, deal with any of the things that have happened to you. And another young lady I was speaking to about as well,
Mhm.
when she was braiding my hair, she was telling me about her father passing. Cause I don't know if you guys have seen the new season of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Have you watched the whole thing?
No.
Yes, I
Oh,
I
have.
didn't watch all of them.
I
Okay.
have. I
Well,
have. To, I,
did you see Eulogy yet?
No, I'm only on
Oh.
the second one.
Oh,
I just
okay.
watched the
Oh.
one with the young lady that had to deal with the woman. Who had
Oh, that shit triggered
Oh.
the fuck out of
Yeah.
me. God, that's a whole different
Wait,
conversation.
It's a good
um,
season.
Yeah.
There's
the
a
first two are great.
Oh, great.
you'll
Fabulous.
be disappointed with Issa Rae. But
Yeah, that black and white one.
Oh,
I fell
I
asleep on
know.
that one
That-
last
yeah.
night. I didn't understand. I fell asleep, so I was going to pick it up tonight, but yeah.
you know,
You have to be wide awake for that one.
yeah, it was not a good
was
episode.
not.
No.
I was
Now
disappointed, but go ahead.
there's one called Eulogy.
Mhm.
Paul Giamatti is in it, but it's a service where the little thing that they put on people. So
Yeah.
that is a reoccurring theme. But what they're doing is that they're trying to get people to recall memories of a person that passed.
Mhm.
So they'll send the little like electronic thing, and then they'll get you to get pictures. And what ultimately ends up happening is he's rehashing a really deep wound from when he dated this woman.
Mhm.
And he never processed it. Like
Mhm.
it completely just blacked out of his memory. And he's like even saying things like, I don't remember what happened. And she's like, try to remember.
Mhm.
And the cool thing about the episode was if you have a picture, you can actually go inside the picture and see like the setting of what happened during that day. But it made me think about how we as individuals are constantly repressing things,
Mhm.
or our brains are shielding us from something. And like you said, we just constantly move, but it's coming out in other ways. Like you said, hypertension, high blood pressure, and, stress, and not being able to sleep, and aches and pains and frustration and
Yes.
all and anger.
Yes.
Everything that she mentioned, I have until I got a therapist.
Yes.
Now those things are starting to go away one by one.
Absolutely.
Like a Sky Rizzy commercial.
Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you. The side effects may be happiness, laughter, black boy joy. You may now not be as angry as you are with your coworkers.
Absolutely.
Therapy. Get you one.
Get you one. No, absolutely. Because it does, when everybody says, oh, it takes a village. It really does take a village.
It does.
It really does take a village. We talk about, how getting out of bed. We talk about, stress responses. Which is why I was so excited. I'm like, oh God, finally. Yeah, we talk about minority health care all the time. But yes, it's finally our month.
Yes.
Yes. Not that we've been preaching it all the time.
Exactly.
But it's finally like people, our people, minority, no matter what the minority is, please seek help.
Please.
Seek help. Your health care is important.
And you only have one body.
You do.
One body and one mind.
And yes. Look at your body, as a whole, as just a whole being. Because we're talking about therapy. We're talking about diet. We're talking about exercise. We're talking about incorporating CBD in a healthy lifestyle. I mean, and if you don't know how to do it, honey, come see me. I can, we can have these conversations. There's tons of information, on my website. There's tons of, if you truly want to have that conversation, I have consultations that you can book. I mean, but this is your body. You only got one life. There's no reason for you to normalize hypertension, stress, anxiety. Because we just say, oh, we just lifing. It doesn't have to be that way.
Because your body is telling you something's wrong.
Pick some tools. Because I always have people, oh, well, because there's a lot of people now that are using cannabis. I mean, there's a lot of people using cannabis. Educate, use it the right way. Come see me, y'all. Use it the right way. Use it responsibly, because you're talking about your health care.
Yes.
We're talking about your health. We're talking about your state of mind. We're talking about, you running on empty and trying to pour. You cannot, your cup cannot be half full and you're trying to pour into other people. It just doesn't work, because then you run out of gas and then you're running on empty, and you've been doing it for a long time. And then your body's going to be like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am crashing and burning.
Now check engine light is coming on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You've been running with the check engine light on forever.
Absolutely.
Forever. And then you can't figure out, well, what's going on? What's going on? Why is it mounting up? Why is it I can't I'm not coping with this well, or oh, okay, well, this is the way I'm coping because that's all I know how to cope. But you're not coping.
Mhm.
No,
You're not
you're
coping.
really not.
Mhm.
That's what I tell. I talk to young and old because the question is okay. So yeah, you're positive. What's going on?
Mhm.
What's going on?
Mhm.
And it's like, oh no, I do it recreation. Well, most people don't.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and again you do.
Mhm.
If you just want to wind it down. But if
Mhm.
you're doing it every day, there's a reason.
Yeah. It's
There's a
now
reason.
become a form of escapism.
Absolutely.
It's no longer just something that you use to help.
Yes.
You're coping. And it's like, so
Absolutely.
let me do this because I don't want to deal with the real world.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of dealing with the real world,
Absolutely. Talk to me.
before we get out of here, there's something that I wanted to get Kim and I wanted to get your opinion on.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with the brother who told
Oh.
everybody that former Vice President Kamala Harris should not have apologized or said, not apologized, but said what
I told you so.
I told you so.
Mhm.
Did you see
Which
that
she
clip?
didn't actually say.
No,
That's not what
she
she
just
said.
she didn't. They took it that way, but she didn't specifically say it. Did you
did
see
not.
how the brother responded to that and what he said? This is the same brother that called Kanye West out when he said slavery was a choice. So, if not, I want you to hear it.
Go ahead.
But
Because
how
I
is she
normally
gonna
don't. I
hear it?
normally don't deal with foolishness. But
She
go
doesn't
ahead.
she doesn't have her headphones.
On TV, we're on that train. Just keep rolling.
Yeah.
She
No,
needs
I'm
headphones.
here. I'm here for this.
Yeah.
No,
I just want to hear what you think about
because this sounds like a health issue too.
Yeah, it is.
A minority
That-
health issue.
That's why I plugged it in before, right there at that segue.
Yeah,
of
it sounds
just-
like it sounds like he needs my help too.
Yeah. So it's ridiculous. I'm just telling you now. No.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like he needs
It
it.
sounds ridiculous.
Ooh,
All right.
okay. Here
You
I am.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
And we need to prioritize Black women in leadership, all of that. But when people are struggling and when people are confused,
Pause.
There we
There
go.
he is.
Well, roll it back.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna
man.
go back.
Okay, I do know him.
All right, we're gonna go.
I know
back.
of him.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
I will say this though, they about to be mad at me. I don't like this.
Like what?
I don't like the I told you so stuff, man. I don't like it.
It's true.
It's true. It's definitely true. All of it was predicted. We need to listen to Black women. We need to prioritize Black women in leadership, all of that. But when people are struggling and when people are confused, I do not think it strikes the right chord to be like, I told you so. And
I agree with that.
I just don't think that it does. And I think that coming from the left right now, the leadership needs to be stronger about what their messaging is. Not about, I told you so, but I tell you how you're going to be better.
And also, perhaps acknowledging that a failure to get what was motivating voters is also underlying the loss. So maybe she was right about Trump, but not putting on the table something that voters actually wanted to vote for.
I'll let you take that on TV because I got a lot of time.
So what's the question again?
How do you feel about what this young man has said about former vice president?
Oh, she should have said, I told you so.
Mhm.
Well, actually, she did not.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Mhm.
So let's be honest. The whole, I told you so stuff. I don't, she did not say that.
No,
Mhm.
she did not.
So trying to put this on her,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
she is not. And so, okay, look, even if she did, so
Mhm.
what?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, so what?
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
He's talking about, messaging and, this is what we need to tell them. Well, number one, in my opinion,
Mhm.
there wasn't a problem with messaging.
Mhm.
No,
You got your message.
You,
You got
Thank
the
you.
message across.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You were just selling something that they didn't want to purchase.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
You got the message across.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's number one.
You better
Mhm.
speak on it on TV.
Yeah, that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe that if left to her own devices and she had more time and she didn't have to placate
Mm-hmm.
to the party,
Mm-hmm.
do I believe she could have? Do I believe that she truly could have had her voice and message put in a way that everyone would have stood?
Mhm.
Because we're talking just plain stuff. We're not,
Mm-hmm.
because the truth is that she's not she's not some leftist, you know, crazy,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
she's not.
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at her record to say that.
Mhm.
She does believe, she believes in criminal justice reform. She does believe that there needs to be some checks and balances at the border.
Mm-hmm.
She's never not said that.
Mm-hmm.
She does believe that there needs to be some guardrails, but she's a candidate for a party,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a platform that's set,
Mhm.
and that is what you are running on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So this young man is just that. He is a young person, and don't get me wrong, everyone has an opinion.
Yes.
Just like an asshole. Everyone has got one. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know, so what? Even if she didn't, but
Right.
even if she did,
Yeah.
so what?
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I did not understand. You
So
know,
what?
when he was saying that, like, oh, I don't like it. First of all, like you said, if you play it back, she laughs, you know, but she never said, I told you so. And she even said, I'm not here to tell you
Yes.
I told you so. And then when you
Absolutely.
sit here and say, oh, well, we need to get behind Black women and they need to be in leadership and they need to do this. But
We
as
know
soon as
that.
I heard, but that completely negates everything that you just stated. What you really wanted to say is now coming after the but. So you sound like somebody who had an issue with possibly voting for her. And then now that shit has gone awry, like she has been telling us, like you've been telling us, like we've been telling y'all, like the information has been out there. Now it's like, well, why are you telling us? I told you so. No, that's what you are hearing. That's
That's right.
not what she said.
That's not what she said.
And then let me tell you something about Abby.
Yeah.
That young lady, as gorgeous as she is, she gets on my last nerve.
On
because
my
you
last-
don't have any control over your show.
I was just about to say, control your panel.
She never does.
Never.
Control this table. It's mine.
You are an educated woman who has a very impressive background, and yet you get on that platform
Yes.
and you act like you do not have a backbone.
Yes.
I need you to take, like you said, take control of your
Yes.
show and act like you belong there because you did the work to be there.
Yes.
You don't have to agree with everybody on there.
No.
You can kindly say, well, wait a minute. As a Black woman, I have a problem with what you just said.
No,
You know?
you can just say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all
Yeah,
forgotten
what is
whose
this?
show this is.
Exactly.
You better reel it back.
Hello.
Yeah.
No,
But
my table.
it's one of those things, and like I said, it's infuriating to me because I understand in a way where it's like you have to make everybody happy because
No, you
then-
don't.
well, you don't. But in her mind, you know, at this level, you feel like you have to play into that because you want job security. Sometimes you just got to say, fuck it. This is my show. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Well,
Period.
because you have to. Because she doesn't control. She can't. You know, they're all talking over each other.
Yes.
They're all. You know,
Yes.
it's just this, and it's this escalation. So now
Yes.
you hear nothing.
Nothing.
All you hear is elevated voices. That's all you hear.
Mhm.
So you can't get a point across.
No.
And that's no good.
Mm-hmm.
So even if, I mean, of course you have people who have different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. We can agree to be disagreeable.
Absolutely.
You can do that all
Mhm.
day long. But that, yes, no, absolutely. Control your panel.
Please.
And it's every night.
Yes.
Every night
It's
they
giving.
are going at it.
Yes.
And you just sitting there.
And it's giving puppet. So, girl, on
stop it.
behalf of so many Black women who would love to have that seat,
Mhm.
stand up,
Stop it. Just stop.
please.
Control your table. If nothing else, you know what? Is she a lawyer or a journalist?
A journalist. Mhm.
Journalist.
She needs to read truly
Mhm.
Robert's rules. Yeah. Parliamentary structure.
Period.
How you run a meeting.
Please.
It's your table.
It is.
If you've been charged of anything, boo-boo, your table. You don't relinquish your power.
No.
That is why you say, Kimberly, what do you have to say about this?
Mhm.
And if Kim said, no,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You have
We'll
your
get to
time.
you.
Yeah, hold
Yeah,
on.
We
you'll
got
have
you.
your time.
Mhm.
we got you.
Mhm.
Give her a minute.
Mhm.
Because then you can have debate.
Yes. Yes.
You can have a debate.
Yes.
And then you can agree to be disagreeable.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
then-
say it takes it from being personal. Now
Yes.
we're fighting the thought versus
Yes.
the thinker.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I have no problem with you expressing your ideology.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I encourage it. I welcome it.
Mhm.
But we are not going to be disrespectful.
No.
Right.
We are not
No.
going to yell and scream across the table.
Mhm.
We are not doing that.
Mhm.
We are going to be civil.
Mhm.
And then, and then we can do it. We can go from there. it can be a pro con. It can be whatever you decide that your panel discussion is going to be about. You can alternate. You can shift around because you've got a card. You know what your agenda is for that day.
Right.
You know what your talking points are.
Exactly.
So come on.
And that's how I feel.
Because I'm not a journalist, but I got that.
I feel like it makes me mad because it makes it seem like she's one of the only people that's there that can't control her arena.
Yes, that is.
And it's like being a sister. I don't like that they put you in that position and you ride with it.
Yeah.
If you feel like, okay, this is getting out of control, or even if they're in her ear saying let it ride, not with me here. This is my image that we have here.
But that's the thing when it comes to the journalism world, it's such a level of scarcity that it's like I'm afraid that if I do this, then I'm going to be deemed as the angry Black woman or I'm going to lose my job.
So to that point, remember, so we had a friend, and I don't mind saying it because if anybody wants to go look, you can go on his Facebook page and see the conversation. We had a friend who had a conversation with not a program director, but a woman who worked at K97. He was expressing to her how things should have been going for Dreamville, how things should have looked from that radio station's perspective, because he used to work for the radio station. This woman goes and says everything in defense of the radio station about how they were doing this and they should have done that. And she was basically slating everything that was done.
Okay.
But there was a part where she, I guess, said something that may have gone against the radio station just a little bit by saying, well, this wasn't just specifically our radio station. It was the program director, She wasn't wrong 100%. She was voicing the truth.
Okay.
She got called into the office.
No.
For what?
Yeah, for what?
She got called into the office. They screenshotted the conversation.
Wow.
And she ended up so exactly why Kim helped me.
Wait, no, she didn't get fired, did she?
Probably got reprimanded.
She got reprimanded. So what Dion said was the man called her in the office and showed her the screenshots.
Wow.
And so the reason why we created TDS Radio is because that's the type of stuff that Kim said happens.
Yes.
Like you can't freely say what you want to say.
No.
Now, this wasn't even on air. This was on someone else's social media page
where she was
defending the radio station, but there was one comment that went against the radio. She agreed with Dion saying, you have a point, but this is what these people told us to do. And because she expressed that this is what they told us to do, they called her in the office.
And that's exactly why I think about it all the time.
Now,
about like
the last part was the person who called her in the office was a white man. So this is a white man over a Black radio station talking to a Black woman who called her into the office to tell her what she could not say about this radio station that's supposed to be for Black people.
It kind of sums it up, doesn't it? I mean,
y'all see why I'm here? Y'all see?
So,
I mean,
and that is that. And the reason why I can say that is because literally the conversation is still up on Dion's thing, but somebody took the screenshots and then he told me like she got in trouble.
Let me tell you something, baby. If ever you would love to come over to TDS, that's not how we do. That is not how we do. And I would love to have you because she's a very talented, I know who he's talking about. She's a very talented individual. She's very passionate. She has such a fervor for journalism and radio. So just saying.
And got in trouble for defending the radio station.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just feedback. So if you can't be in a place to where you can listen to honest feedback from your community that you allegedly represent, and then sit here and say, well, I can see that. Instead, it's just like, well, you don't need to talk that way. Why am I working for you? Especially as a Black woman, this is my community. I am talking to someone who looks like me and having a healthy dialogue and then saying, well, you have a point, but this is how this works and blah, blah, blah. And then you as a white man, you're going to chastise me for talking to the community that we allegedly are trying to advertise to and say that, we represent. That's why I can't do it. I can't do it. Because the moment you feel like, I got to go against the grain, you get in trouble.
She got in trouble. That it blew my mind because I was like, man, that's exactly why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing what we're doing,
Yeah.
because
And-
and it was a healthy conversation between two people. Now, once again, it wasn't that it when you're reading it, I even made the comment that I'm learning so much
Mhm.
because she had her points.
Yes.
And he had her points.
Yes.
But she ended it with, this is what we were instructed to do.
Period.
And that part got her in trouble.
And it's corporate radio. There
Yeah.
are a set of instructions that you have to follow. So I don't see why you're getting her. Why am I? That would be my question. Why? That's first of all, that's why I got fucking fired. Why am I in trouble? Like, because why am I in trouble? Well, you have to sit here and explain to me why I am in trouble. Till this day, my boss, can't tell me why I was fired. It's just because he got mad because I called him out. But why am I in trouble? Just like when I was working at, iHeart, you have to sit here and explain to me why this person is saying, I don't want this shift. And I'm saying, I'll take the shift. And you're telling me, no, you can't have it. Well, explain to me why I can't have it when I know the system. I know how to do the breaks. I know the material. I know how to run the show. And I've done it before. So either this is a personal issue or either you're just a fucking asshole. But you need to tell me why I cannot do it. And unfortunately, Abby, in that position, I get it. It's a huge platform. But look how they're making you look. Look how they're making you look. At some point, you have to stand up and say, I'm not doing, man, fuck this. This is why people go to podcasts. This is why they're just like,
your audience.
Yeah, I can control my audience. Look what they did to Don Lemon.
I was just about to say, look at Don Lemon.
Yes. And what's the other girl? Jamil Hill. That's why
ESPN.
people, that's why people are Shannon Sharp. The list can go on and on and on. This is why people go to podcasts. This is why people create their own lanes. You just have to be brave enough to do it and stay consistent because it's not easy. But this is why, because someone who does not look like you is telling you how you need to operate in your own spaces. It's crazy.
With people that you know better than them.
Insane. Absolutely insane. So, like I said, I know who that young lady is. The door will always be open
people
for you.
Lose their jobs based on what you do on the internet. Literally, my supervisor told us how we rep the company, and they have policies centered around that. We cannot make them look bad.
Right.
And
but she was not making
I was going to say, the sad part is she literally did a hell of a job defending the company. It was the last part that got her in trouble when she said, quote, they told us to do that.
Yeah.
Which is a fact.
It's a fact.
It's a fact. So it's not like you're making the company look bad. What they were doing was wrong. The gentleman had a point as what he was expressing, like this is what should be going on. And she's saying, but this is what's going on. And then at the end, she said, they told us to do that.
This is why you have high turnover. And then on top of that, when you sit here and you have something like that, even if you felt like that's not how you should have handled it, teach. This is a teachable moment. Okay. Ooh. This is when you use your verbal skills. Absolutely. This is when you call them into the office and say, I see how you handled that, but the next time something like this happens, maybe say it like this, or maybe, use your verbiage like that. But don't sit here and now I'm in trouble for defending where I work. Crazy work. What?
She offended somebody with some money.
Yeah.
She offended a sponsor.
It was a top dog.
Yeah.
That's who called her in.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's a teachable moment. Well, you can't do that. So let's do this. But then now I have to sit here and make an example out of you because nobody else can handle things the way that you did. Yeah. Crazy work.
It is.
Crazy.
It is.
Absolutely insane. So I'm sorry, baby. I did not know that happened.
Yeah. And it's an unfortunate situation. Now, I mean, I think she's there, but the fact that you have to have those conversations where it's like, come on, man, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now she's got to filter.
Yes.
Yep.
You got to filter everything.
Yes. And you'll never be your true self because it's like, well, if I say this, then I might get fired or I might.
Yeah.
Look.
Because now you're there.
Yeah. Which is the difficulty that we keep expressing, guys, even with TDS. We created the tagline, Our Voice, Our Culture, based upon what the story I just told and what Kim just told you. Everything that you see on the radio or hear on the radio and see on TV, there's somebody at the top giving the green light or putting a stop sign to it. The ignorance that we see on a consistent basis and that we listen to on a consistent basis is being programmed to be played on a consistent basis. We have to negate that somehow. And then, as you see, when somebody says, well, this is what we were told, and you can't say that we told you to do that. We have to make it look like it was a free will, that this is really about us opening up to the community. No, it's not opening up to the community. It's actually polluting it. And we need to be careful about that. Well, because that imagery is everywhere.
Narrative.
Yeah.
There's a narrative.
Yes.
And it's always been that way. if you just look at
Mhm.
you look at past history,
Mhm.
it's a
Mhm.
narrative.
Mhm.
You know, we talk about that, you know, in the cannabis industry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a narrative.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We want you, you know, we want you to demonize a culture.
Mhm.
We want you to, you know, to you know, have these bullet points.
Mhm.
Oh, it's bad. Oh, I'm telling you, it's bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
Oh, you know, this is what they do. Oh, I mean, and it's you're trying to develop a culture, and then after a while, you go, oh, the whole culture is like, well, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe
Mhm.
they're right. Okay, yeah, we'll buy into that.
Mhm.
And that programming,
Mhm.
Programming. It's terrible.
programming,
Mhm.
It's terrible.
it's terrible.
It's terrible.
And
so-
you got whole communities believing it.
right. And so I mean that takes us full circle to when you finally get the opportunity to be on a platform such as
Yeah.
Abby. Come on now, you got to make sure you control your arena.
Mhm.
That's your arena.
Got it. I said, because that ain't my job. But yeah, because she took over as our precinct.
Hold on one
leader.
second. Look, check this out.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm listening. We're listening.
I'm just saying she's our precinct leader. And so
Yeah, she just wants to get the word out there. And she's just an adorable woman who's just working her ass off, trying to make.
I'm sorry. There, young lady I want to introduce you to. She actually is a correspondent for the White House, and I told her I said she needs to come. Oh, so I'm sorry about what just happened because I don't know. All right, I guess the internet went out in the office, but I got to come in to end the show. So everybody say good night. Good night. Good night. TBS Radio. Look, people still in there. The internet went out, y'all. Sorry. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace. We're on my phone. Peace.
Bye-bye.